Oh!
Hello?
Did you leave your house at 4 o'clock?
I did say that you texted me, but that wasn't good enough.
Hi.
What?
Do you leave your house at 4?
No.
Jessica's salty over
It was like 3:45, actually.
Do you want that pink ball or do you want a chair like that? Like those dudes have?
Doesn't matter. I'll take a ball.
Alright.
It'll be exciting.
The ball's all yours, man.
Watch those feet.
Watch those feet.
I had a car accident on the west side that had like all the lanes blocked off.
Oh.
That's on Flatlands, if you know what that is.
I just suffered from school.
Oh, fun.
Like, I was on a bus. I wasn't late,
Oh.
so I don't know why. But when school got, I'm like, damn it. Anytime, like, if it's 3 between 4, I'm like, oh, I'm so fucked. Because either traffic's busy or, like, I just get annoying kids on the bus. And it's like, ugh. Oh,
Damn kids.
damn kids.
Kids
Get
are the
rid of
worst.
them. Yeah.
Just eliminate them.
Yeah.
Nice for going.
Did you, what?
I said nice for going.
Yeah. Did you remember the stuff for the topic this week?
I didn't.
Okay.
Is
You can go last.
Is our 10 like least favorite?
No, it was
We're
just
not
the
doing
stuff
numbers.
we fell out of love with, like franchises
okay.
of games,
Oh
movies,
yeah,
TV shows.
I thought that was for last week. I've been
But
ready.
It was.
but
Yeah.
we didn't get to it because we ranted on The
I'm ready.
Void and Hayden Christensen. Like,
I'm ready.
Okay, that's good. Because we're going to start with that, and then, well, we won't tell you our little announcement because you're a little late, so but we'll tell you in the
All right.
beginning. So,
It'll be exciting.
yeah. All right, well, we're here. Another.
We are here.
We're here. Of course we're here. If we're not here, then I don't know what's going on. Dylan's still alive. He's still with us.
I don't know how I survived. But I'm here.
Did you keep
I'm
your...
here, right? Just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I guess
Except
so.
for me.
Yeah.
Who's here and not here as a ghost?
Yeah, well, I'm still a ghost, so, yeah.
And
So are you
Hayden
here or are you not
Christensen's
here? Because you said you weren't here, so like... do you-
She's here, like, in spirit, I think.
Yeah, because
That's
I'm a
what I think.
ghost, so I'm not technically here, but I
Okay.
mean, I'm here because I'm a ghost. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, my name is Travis Snail. I'm one half of the Dickie Dollar Scholars. Joining me is my other half.
Taylor
That's
Fields.
cute. You guys have, like, a team name.
Yeah.
Watch Scream Queens.
And on my right is...
Kirkland Patzer.
They don't know that he's to the right, but so you know, Kirkland
Yeah,
is to
on the right. That's my new nickname.
Yeah, on the right.
And then
Kirkland.
to Kirkland's right is a one and only, I don't know. I'll just go with that again. Dylan Musk.
I'm on the left, and I'm Jessica.
The left of something, I guess.
You know?
She's on the left of me, technically.
Yeah. Sure. Works for me.
Yeah. Anyways, episode 11. Big announcement. No, it's not big at all. But we're getting rid of punches. We're getting rid of slaps. We're getting all that. We're going uncensored.
Ooh.
We kind of looked at our audience. I looked at numbers and looked at people that like it and talked to me about it. And there's not anybody like under the age of 18. So I'm kind of like, fuck it. So we don't swear up a storm or anything like that. But like, there's some good comedic value whenever we swear. And I feel like you miss out a bit on that. And we've always wanted this to be like a natural conversation. And when you're talking to people in real life, there's not bleeps or whatnot. Not like that Family Guy episode with the FCC. That was a good one. Anyways, back to on topic. We're going to get to our topic that last week we were going to get to, but we didn't get around to it. So me and Dylan one time were texting and whatnot, talking about the cast, talking about what we're going to talk about. And he brought up Survivor, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's kind of past its time, and I don't feel like many people watch it and whatnot. And then he's hitting me with these stats of, like, most watched reality show and this and that, the, like, demographic and whatnot. But I'm like,
No joke, man.
Yeah, other than Dylan.
It's funny about that because you watch it too. So it's
Well, other than me and then you two, most people I talk to are like, no, like, that's old news. Like, I gave up on that 5 years ago. Like, and then anybody that does watch it, it's like our parents, like people that are 40 and above. And I'm like, okay. So I felt like with us, and then you felt the other way. So first, we'll just quickly talk about that, but then we're going to talk about the bread and butter today of stuff that...
bread and butter.
Hashtag bread and butter. Of stuff that you loved. Doesn't matter if you're a kid, adult, whatnot. You love franchise gaming, TV, movies, and fell out of love with. And that's kind of what we're talking about Survivor. But with Survivor, do you feel... Kirkland and Taylor, do you watch it?
I never watched it.
I'll never watch it.
Why will you never watch it?
I'm not interested in it. I've watched it before, but shows like
So
that...
then you have watched it. You can't say you
when,
never watched it.
No, I said I'll never watch it. Like,
But you said
Again.
you would watch it before.
No, he
when
said
I was
he has-
little.
He said he has watched
Well,
it.
Yeah, I
no,
heard
but
that
now,
too.
but now I'm saying I'll never watch it.
So you'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay, what
I
did
guess if you want to go that technical,
let's get
into
into
it.
let's get into the bread and butter of that. Did you watch one episode? Did you watch a season? What did you watch?
When I was little, and
And do
I
you know-
sat in front of the TV.
And do you know what season it was? Because I could
I have
like depict a
no
lot.
idea.
Yeah, because there's some
idea.
bad seasons, and that could ruin it.
I have no idea. I'm just not a fan of that kind of reality show. I guess.
Like, imagine if someone gave you like a copy of just Assassin's Creed Unity and never played Assassin's Creed game before? It's the same way. Like, what if you just watch some crappy Survivor episode or season? You can get back into it.
Yeah, but I've listened to people talk about it and all that, and I
Just
don't
wait.
have...
After this season's done and he hears us talk about it every week, he'll probably go and watch it.
I'm down
No.
on the season now.
You're what?
I'm down on the season now because that 3 tribe split.
I don't think that's as bad as you think it is.
I don't like that dynamic. I like just the classic one tribe versus another. The other tribe.
I don't think it'll ruin the
tribe's
season,
This tribe's getting, like, destroyed. I don't think that...
It's only been 2 weeks.
Okay, but they're already down 2 people. And, like, let's be honest. I mean...
The good part of the show is when the merge comes anyway. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I know.
true.
No one
but,
cares.
But
They just
Lou's
saw
the
the
only strong person on that team, and we haven't really seen anything from, you know, well, not strongest, but most athletic.
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean...
not all it takes all the time, though. Puzzles.
It's true, but I mean that if they're already down 2 people, I mean, then the other team can sit out their weakest and continue to get stronger, where that one team is just slowly going to get beat down.
Yeah. I would still
At the
rather
end of the
just
day,
switch
none
it,
of it
though.
really matters until you hit the merge. Nothing's really that important, honestly.
I disagree. Idols
Oh.
stay and play and stuff like that.
I disagree in the fact, look at what happened last episode, because they thought they had all of this, you know, spoiler alert, hashtag spoiler alert, Spencer and Shireen thought that they were all safe, and it's before the merge, and then all of a sudden everything flipped, and it was down to the 2 of them. So, I mean, there is still some play involved before the merge.
Yeah, but then you could argue that Shireen had pretty much no effect on the season at this point. Really.
Anyways.
In the long run.
What the bread and butter was, the people that you say that watch it, what would you throw them in the age category?
Oh,
Would it be around our
definitely.
age or older?
No, definitely older. Like, when the people I work with at my work, they're all older, and they are all... They talk about that. And then,
Okay.
like, even family, there's family they're, like, really old, too, and they all watch it. You guys are the only ones I know that are my age that
See?
watch it for the first time ever that I've talked to.
Yeah, but just on the cast, 3 out of 5 of us watch it, so think about that.
Well, we
Right?
might be the
Actually-
3 out of 5 like Kelowna.
No, and actually, I know other people our age that do watch it.
Okay.
It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Kirkland, do you know anybody that watches the show? And if so, what age demographic are they?
Well, when I was in around middle school, that was when all my friends were talking about it.
Mhm.
But like, it doesn't mean they're not still watching it. Like, they could still be watching it. Like,
But the hype's dropped off. Like, you don't hear all the
oh
time,
yeah,
right? And
like,
that's...
I honestly didn't know it was still a thing. Until
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
I'm
I
the
just thought
same
it
as
was
him. Like, I watched it. I did take like a 2-year break, but I did seem like in middle school, high school, people like, oh, did you even elementary school? Oh, watch this. And then near the end of high school and now, be like, oh, Survivor. And like, you still watch that? Or people still watch that? Like, I'm the same thing of like, people would go like, is that still a thing? So, yeah.
I just never really followed it. Like, my big reality show growing up was like Amazing Race.
Oh,
That was about
yeah.
it,
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I don't watch Amazing Race. I
I-
don't like Amazing Race.
I used
I
to.
don't like it at all.
Big Brother's my favorite. I love Big
I
Brother.
can't.
Yeah, I
I
don't
I
like
used
Big
to watch it
Brother.
with my
that.
sister, but now she moved out. I never touched that show.
But anyways, so we talked about Survivor, and then that led us to our first bread and butter
Bread
topic.
topic.
So, does anyone want to start us off with things they fell in love with? We can just go do our whole lists. We don't gotta like go one by one. I don't think.
Whatever. Doesn't
Whatever.
matter.
Well, how many do you have on your list? 'Cause don't
I
too
have
many.
some that'll
I have,
go
like,
like
6 things.
quick that no one will talk about, and then I have some that might be, but I don't know.
Mine are really lame, so I'll just go through
I,
mine.
I want to go last because I forgot my list, so I'm going to kind of think about it while we're talking here.
Okay.
I'll go
so-
second last.
So, Call of Duty and Halo. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't have an Xbox One at this point. That's maybe why I don't play Halo. I've just kind of lost interest with... I would say shooters in general, but I still play Counter-Strike. So I don't know, I think it's just... I just had enough of them. Like, they
Yeah.
pump them out every year, every couple of years. And
Yeah.
I've kind of just had my turn with that. You guys still... Like, Taylor and Jessica, you guys are still very much into Halo.
Yeah, I played it actually this morning at 85%
Yeah.
now out of the 100% achievement on the
Mhm.
Master Chief Collection. Anyone who knows, that's many hours that I've invested.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Round of
85%. No?
That's almost an A.
That's...
Kirkland, did you ever play Halo?
I never had like Xbox Live when I was younger, so
That doesn't mean you can't play Halo.
Well, I played the first one. That was like the first. I think that was the first thing I ever played on the original Xbox when that first came out. Was the first Halo, and I loved it. I loved the co-op. I loved everything about it. But like I said, I just never really had Xbox Live, so I wasn't as big. into
You're more
it
of
as
a
a lot of
PlayStation
people.
person, I guess.
Yeah, like to piggyback like a couple episodes when we did our top 10 of games, you guys were talking about Modern Warfare 2 and just the
Yeah.
online whatnot. I didn't have Xbox Live, and I feel like that's why those games aren't as high for me, because I would just play the campaign and maybe multiplayer at a friend's house, but I wasn't really into
You're wasting
online.
money if you buy Call of Duty for campaign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I liked it. I need if you need a shooter to shoot things, and I didn't like multiplayer because that wasn't me. I like still to this day I like
Yeah.
the story, play through it, move on, and that's the same way and that's why I got out of COD, because the stories got progressively worse. I feel like in Modern Warfare, the first one, the original Call of Duty, and even World at War, I feel like the campaigns were still
I think they're
trying.
fun, but I don't like the amount of replayability I got from Call of Duty. None of it was because of a campaign.
It was-
Like I'd go back and do like what was that one mission in COD 4 that everyone loved, where you're in like the ghillie suit and you're sneaking through the bushes?
Oh,
Yeah,
Daily Dose.
but
That's
in
the
my
only reason I would go back to
perspective,
campaign.
you get it for Christmas, you play through it, and then by the time you want another shooter, oh look, November's around the corner, and here it comes, and I play it, and then I'm done. But
So that's probably why I don't play them anymore. I just,
yeah.
too much of the same, really.
Yeah. But did you hear the PS3 and Xbox 360 are not getting a
Yeah,
campaign?
they're not getting the campaigns.
Yeah, for the
Sorry,
next
what?
game. The next game, no campaigns, just multiplayer.
For
The last generation of
So
COD
Black
games.
Ops
I'm
3
surprised they're
comes
still
out,
making
yeah.
them for the last generation.
I think this is a sign like, hey, enjoy this year, and then next year you're done.
Kirkland, do you still play Call of Duty?
No.
Why not?
Just
not tired of it too?
Yeah, that was actually on my list.
Yeah.
Mine too, so let's just,
Yeah, like for me, when I first got my PlayStation 3, COD 4 was still like really big. Like it wasn't like just out, but it was still really big because that was like the biggest one.
People were
and
playing it for years.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
bought it. I had it for Xbox 360, and then I bought it for PlayStation just so I could play with my friends. Like
That's great.
like the online at the time was just like you couldn't beat it. It was just so good. Like best first person shooter out there at the time,
For sure.
in my opinion at least. And then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that was on like my number one or my top 10 list because
Yeah.
it was just that was like the best game
So
ever.
good.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like you
Well,
play
no,
with your friends.
We talked about it.
But
so good, so bad.
yeah, but like every single year, like I didn't feel like they changed the multiplayer that much. Like maybe the gameplay changed like a little bit, but like it was the same thing. Like you level up to like around the 70s, and then you prestige. I know they changed the level a couple times, but I just
pretty much the same thing.
yeah. I thought like, like if I'm gonna spend money on a game, I want to like experience something new.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same way. Like, I didn't play online much, and I did eventually near the later games, but it was just like, I have a general fatigue of first-person shooters, but with COD especially, because it just felt like very much the same thing over and over. So, yeah, it was on my list, too. I loved them when I was younger, and then now I don't know what it would take for me to buy another one. Like I think
Yeah.
about that. I did Ghost, and then I was like,
Yeah.
"That's it, I'm done."
I did
like,
Ghost because I got it with the bundle when I
Yeah.
got my PlayStation.
It was for the
And-
new generation.
yeah,
so you're like, "Oh, I'll give it a
and
shot."
I really liked it because I like playing with my friends. I didn't even really touch the campaign.
Oh, I played I played like the beginning when you're running through like town, and then after I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Even the spacing, I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
and
like
then-
I like to play with my brother-in-law, and I play with like my friends, like a handful of them. But it's not like I got on every day and just trying to prestige like
Yeah.
I used to on the older ones.
Yeah.
because that was just the best thing ever. I love Call of Duty 4 or Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2.
yeah.
So yeah.
What's next for you?
The other one.
Oh wait, and you're still loving it, right?
Oh yeah, gosh! I mean, Advanced Warfare's campaign I love that. It doesn't have much replayability, but it had a great story. Unlike other COD games, I felt like I was just thrown into it. I didn't know what was really going on.
But we agree about those ones. Defend Ghosts to us.
I won't defend
No
Ghost.
one-
I think
no one can
Ghost,
defend
Ghost
the new
was
one,
horrible.
Advanced Warfare
Advanced Warfare?
3 or whatever.
Well, Advanced Warfare.
Starring Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I'll defend that
Yeah.
one. I think the multiplayer is a lot of fun, and especially when you're playing split screen with a friend, it's even more better than. Like I don't know. It's just I think it's an improvement. Like I'm always gonna have Modern Warfare 2 at the top for Call of Duty for me because like as you guys said, like Mike Myers and all that was the best, absolute best. But I mean, Advanced Warfare is really great, and I'm looking forward to Black Ops 3 multiplayer.
Is
and
that coming out?
zombies.
It's probably coming out pretty soon then, right?
November.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get Modern Warfare. Was it? They did Modern Warfare 3, right?
Mhm.
And then Black Ops 2, I dipped out for those, and then I came back, and I got Ghost, and I was like, oh, this is awful. And
This is
then,
the worst time to come back.
so at this point, no,
Yeah.
I'm done with Call of Duty at this point. The other thing is rhythm games, and we kind of talked about this on our top
Yeah.
10,
Like
but
Rock Band and
I mean, I guess they did kind of. They were gone for a couple of years, 3 or 4 years or something.
I'm really excited this
But,
year not to buy them, but just to see how they do. Like
Yeah.
if they catch on with this generation, or if that's kind of like, oh, that's
I think,
old.
for me at least, it's something that I've kind of just grown tired of. Don't really need to.
Yeah.
If I want to, I'll go back and play Guitar Hero 3 and try to beat through the Fire and Flames, because I still haven't done that.
I agree. It's not on my list, but I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I liked it, and then I don't know. I can't remember what was the last one I played. I had three in Aerosmith I really like because I love Aerosmith. But whatever was after that, I was like, okay, that's enough for me. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
I feel like it's a lot like a social game.
Mhm.
Like you won't really
Yeah,
play it on
for
your
sure.
own.
Yeah.
But if you have like if you have like 5 people over, it's like, what do you guys want to do? Rock Band or something like that? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you
This
just
is
like
a perfect game. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I know Rock
Yeah,
Band.
but when's the last time you had people over and suggested Rock Band?
Well, my
over-
guitars are broken, so I can't even play it. And probably like 5 years ago, I'd say. But Rock Band 4, I'm definitely not going to get it released because I just can't see myself playing it. But like, if I don't know, if I...
Boxing Day deal?
Yeah, exactly. Like, something like that. And like, I know, like, I've already mentioned it on the cast before, but like, that was a big family thing for me. So it's
Yeah.
like, if my parents wanted to get into it and like play and stuff, like, totally. But
You need people.
yeah, exactly.
My instruments aren't broken, so I'll wait till someone trades it in without the instruments and just buy the disc by itself for like cheap used.
hmm
That's my plan.
Yeah.
Is that it for you?
So it seems well, no, but that seems so. It seems like kind of universal. Well, how about for you, Taylor? What's your experience with rhythm games?
Well, I've only ever played Rock Band and Guitar Hero, no DJ Hero, except demos at Best Buy.
We don't talk about
For
DJ.
hours and hours. Sir, you gotta leave. It's already time. That's how I first met Taylor.
He told me to get out of this store.
Yeah. It's like, you're gonna pay for this one day.
No, I got all great memories just with Guitar Hero, going over to my friends and playing like the Halo Mjolnir mix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was great,
cool.
and then playing Rock Band 2, like with the drums and the bass guitar and all that. That was fun. But I'll probably just wait and see how this one and the new Rock Band turn out too.
So it kind of seems like all of us are kind of dipped out of rhythm games in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you play Dance Dance still.
Yeah, I do play Dance
That's
Dance.
technically a rhythm game.
But my DJ Hero is definitely collecting dust. So, you know.
I'm surprised you still have it. Really.
Yeah.
It's in the box and everything. It's still like probably pretty prime condition.
Did you take it out of the box ever?
Maybe once.
Nice. Cool. Another series is Tony Hawk, the Tony Hawk games,
Oh, yeah.
which is funny because the new one just came out.
We were just talking about this off-cast before. Just the bad pictures going around. I just read IGN. They got like a 3.5 there, and seeing all these like bad pictures of them just like crashing through like the mold of the game, and it's just apparently it's just awful.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I can't remember what it was. The patch day one is bigger than the actual game. I'm not even joking. I think the game is like 1 or 2 gigabytes, and the patch is like 4.4. It's something like
That's
that.
so weird.
So I can't remember, but it's terrible apparently.
Yeah, I haven't played a new one of those in forever. Underground was an amazing game.
Yeah, I
it
love
was
that one.
so good.
I have it for
Even
GameCube.
American Wasteland, I like that one. Pro Skater back on the N64, but yeah, I've definitely done with Tony Hawk
Oh, yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I would add that on my list for sure.
Probably because I switched to Skate.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was so like against this new one coming out because I'm like, it's gonna be so bad. Like it's literally just a remake of the PlayStation 1 one, and it's like, who wants to do that anymore?
I feel like it's worse.
yeah, well,
from what
probably
it looks like.
yeah, like probably. Like I'm never gonna play it,
Yeah.
but like Skate, like that was just the best skateboarding game
So
ever.
you guys
and it's
didn't
like
fall out of love with skateboarding games, but specifically Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk series.
Yeah. Well, that was like all there was, really. Tony Hawk and...
But now,
But
Yeah.
but you're saying you love skate, so it's not skateboarding games. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the Tony
no,
Hawk
yeah,
series.
specifically Tony
Yeah.
Hawk.
specifically
Yeah,
you,
specifically.
Mr. Hawk.
Doing
If that's your real
700
name.
kickflips and like 40 backflips.
Yeah, like you just input your cheats, infinite manuals and stuff, or like just things like that.
But
And like when I was a
Underground
kid,
was a
that was
classic.
when I was a kid, like Underground, I played that so much. You make like your character, and that was so much fun. But I'm so done with that. Like,
I have to wonder what it'd be like if Skate was out back then.
oh.
I wonder how the war would have gone, because I feel like Tony Hawk was already done, and then Skate started coming out.
Yes, it was definitely more of like a next generation skateboarding game. I felt like
Yeah.
it definitely felt a lot better. I know one came out on the Wii and that was really bad, but other than that, it
Oh,
was
man.
it's called Skate It. You can look it up.
I know what you're talking about, actually. Is that the one that had the actual board that you could...
No, they had the balance board. For the
Yes,
Wii.
I
And
totally
you can't,
played that.
and you couldn't jump off. If you jump off, it'd be like, stand back on the pad, please. And it's like, how am I supposed to do it all? And you just have to like shift your weight, kind of.
Yeah, it had
And
like
was
the
so
little
bad.
ball on the
Yeah.
bottom, and it sat in the little holder. I
But then-
totally own that.
But then Tony Hawk, actually, they came out with their own skateboard
Yeah, I
thing,
know, I
too,
saw that,
and that was
too.
also awful.
I didn't hear
Weird at
anything
all.
about that. I feel like it just
I
went
never
out the
played
window.
it, but...
Yeah.
I
The other...
still think we should do a tournament of worst games and see who could win. Like, just play, like, games for points and just bad games like that, like the Wii
That would be
one.
fun.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Sounds terrible, by
My
the
friend
way.
has it. I can borrow it. He has skated.
And
for
she
the
has it
Wii.
too, so...
Oh, yeah.
We'll just do tourneys all
The
night.
other two are two TV series that I should probably give another chance, but I just got bored at some point, and they're Breaking Bad and Walking Dead. So they're both like huge series, but I don't know. I just got bored of them at some point or another.
Breaking Bad.
When I have time, I'll go back and watch them, but I don't have
Travis
time right now.
disagrees with me, but I find Breaking Bad is really slow for the first 3 seasons.
I actually watched like four or 5 seasons of it.
Well, there's only 5 seasons.
Isn't there? There's
There's
6
6.
seasons.
6?
So
Well,
I actually
okay,
got
well,
like pretty
okay,
far in
well,
Depends
watch
which
before I
fan you
dipped
ask.
out.
We'll watch the final season because that's the best season.
Just
Disagree.
Yeah, at this point though, I would have to go
4.
back to the
No,
beginning.
just don't even bother. Just watch the last season.
I feel like that would not be doing justice to the show though.
No, I don't think so. I'm rewatching them right now. I'm episode 8 of season 4 right now, and 4 is my favorite. It's every episode delivers something good, whether it's character development or people. And I could see, because you and I have talked about this before, and you talked about where you left off, and I was like, I remember that being the really slow part.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the worst season. It's the first half of season 5, where it's just build up to revealing a big secret, and all it is just filler.
Yeah.
And filler. Like, it's still good filler, don't get me wrong. I love it. It's still my favorite show tied with Hannibal, but I could see where people drop off. But those last 6 episodes are amazing. But I think the show overall, I like slow stuff. I'm the person that in Avengers Age of Ultron, I like the party scene in the farmhouse. Like, I like seeing the Avengers do that instead of like fighting. So I like, same thing I was talking to a friend that saw Black Mass, which we'll talk about later, but it was like, oh, that was way too slow
Yeah, but
for
there's
me.
a
I
difference
hated
between
it.
like things in a movie. Where
Yeah.
It's only a 2-hour thing. I know there's a slow half an hour. That's fine. But if there's a season that has like 5 or 6 episodes that are all really slow, that's
True.
That's
With that
exactly
show,
why
though,
I
I always-
dripped out of Breaking Bad and Walking Dead, is because they just had a really bad extended period of time.
I
Walking
agree.
Dead, I
I
can
find Breaking
agree.
Bad was no. I agree more with Breaking Bad. I found that it was really hard to get through, and the only reason I did it is because Matt wanted to watch the final season as it aired, so I had to get through it
Yeah.
to watch it. I agree that Breaking Bad is very slow and hard.
Yeah,
It's
but
kinda
see,
hard to
with
swallow.
Walking Dead, when I feel it's slow, it's just slower. Breaking Bad, even when it's slow, there's character development happening. Even if it's with Marie, who you might not like, there's stuff going on that you're getting into their psyche and you're finding out why. But like, I'm
No,
finding
yeah,
stuff
like I
out
said,
didn't
I
even-
do have to give it another shot, and I will when I have time. But
Yeah,
as of
would.
right now, this would be on my list of things that I just got tired of.
I think it's the greatest TV show of all time. I think it's the best written thing of all time, movie or TV or book. I think Breaking Bad is one of the best like Shakespearean kind of adaptations ever in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
I can see why with Walking Dead too. It's
Yeah.
definitely
That's
And I dipped out of
So-
the farm part, which we've talked about before, but that
Yeah.
part sucked.
it's a lot of talking.
That's where I stopped. I was gonna put Walking Dead on my list because it's like I started watching it with my dad when it first
Like the
came
first
out.
season was really
Yeah,
good.
like I really liked it watching it with my dad, but then got to the point where I just started. I think it was Game of Thrones that I started watching, and it just sort of put it on the back burner. And then my dad like watched ahead of me, so I'm like, oh, I don't really want to catch up all like in a row. Like I probably will go back to it and like finish the series once the series is done because it's still going on, right?
Well, they say it's never gonna end.
Yeah. Well, then I'll never watch it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Like I really liked it, but I got to the farm part, and then
Yeah.
that was when I stopped watching. I'm like, oh,
Everyone
this is
hates
kind of
that.
rough.
Yeah.
And like the episodes are long. Like aren't they an hour long each?
Most of the time, because AMC lets them do extra. So,
Yeah.
like, most on TV, it's always 40 minutes, but
Yeah.
AMC, they'll give you an extra, like,
Yeah.
10, 15 if you need it.
Yeah. I thought it was cool, but it's like, yeah, I'll watch it like
Yeah.
another day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then now I'm here, and it's like it's been 3 years.
I'll talk
That's the perfect time. Binge watching is the way to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll talk about that now, too, because it's on my list, Walking Dead. It's the same way I loved that show, and I don't think I'm fully out of love with it yet, because I still watch it, but there came a time where it's like, oh, this Sunday I gotta make sure I'm seeing The Walking Dead. Now it's kind of like, I'll see it when I see it, whether it's
Right.
live or on DVR.
But now I'm really into Hannibal, so I'm watching that if I'm watching anything.
Good boy. But the farm season was tough, but I had like certain characters I really liked, so that got me through it. And season 3 was really good, and I don't know if that's why I don't like the show as much anymore, because season 3 is my favorite, and it was so good. And every episode to me was like Breaking Bad in season 4. There's always something, even the slow episodes, there's always something to latch on, just sink your teeth into. And then 4 happened. It was just like a bunch of stuff I didn't like. So it's maybe one of those where maybe it got too good. Lots of people say that with Dexter, that this first season was so good that the rest of the show couldn't really outdo it, which I disagree, but I think it's that kind of thing for me with Walking Dead. That was so good, and I was on such a high, and then after that, it just was like... So, yeah, that was on my list, too.
Yeah. Well, that's my list. I didn't really have much.
This is kind of off topic. Was the Ice Truck Killer first season of Dexter?
Yes.
Definitely best season.
Yeah.
For sure, Z's.
It's always debated that and 4. And 4, I think they're on
You gotta tell me
That's
what
the
killer.
Trinity.
Trinity.
Trinity was really good.
Amazing. But I still give it to Ice Truck, because that last twist about who the Ice Truck Killer is, breaks my heart every time. Have you seen it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I put Dexter on my list because
The last season sucked.
yeah, no, I didn't watch it. I watched the first episode.
Don't watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but-
I watched the very first episode. Like that show for me. Are we just gonna start talking about Dexter?
Just go to your list now.
Okay.
Because
We'll go counterclockwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To my left.
If she wants to go last, so it works perfectly.
Yeah,
There
okay,
you go.
perfect. So, yeah, I had Dexter on my list because when I first watched that show, I got so glued in. Like, the first season was amazing. I loved it. I was like, oh, this is the show for me. I'm just gonna binge watch it, like, constantly. Like, every single day I was watching that. Like, I would basically just sit down and watch episode after episode.
Because it was so unique.
Yeah, it was-
There's
yeah.
nothing like it.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
this
really
is about a
cool.
show
Yeah.
serial killer, and he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
There was, like, other than killing good people, he was a terrible person.
Yeah, and it's like everyone I talked to loved the show. Like, it was just so good. And then I found, like, in the later seasons, like, not necessarily just the last season, but, like, near the end of it, I found it started to get a lot slower. Like, like specifically when he got, like, his kid.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, like, he wasn't just, like he's a parent. He's not just, like, a solo killer like he was. And that's how I feel like everyone loved him. But it's, like, it is cool they added, like, how they changed the story and stuff. But for me personally, that was where I kind of fell off. And then the last season, I just didn't even try.
But what threw it off was, because did you get to the Trinity part?
Oh, yeah. I watched every season except for the last one.
Okay, because that's the part where people say that there's this big shift, and the reason why, if no one knows this, there was a guy, the showrunner and head writer was 1 to 4, and then he left.
Oh.
So that's why everyone says, like, 5 to 7 is
Yeah.
kind of mucky and all
Yeah,
over the place.
that's what I thought.
I really like the season that Dev finds out. I think that's really good, because it's, I don't know, it's good tension, it's good super
Yeah.
stuff, but the problem with the baby was Rita was always there to take care of, right?
Yeah.
Spoilers, sorry, but she was there, and then when she's gone, Dexter's stuck with the kid. Even though
Yeah.
he gives it to the nanny all the time, it was always like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, where Rita was the mother, always
Yeah.
taking care of it. So it was a good twist, like, oh, she's gone now, but it's like, oh, but we have all this other
Yeah.
stuff that now, with her being gone, and yeah, and then they did that really awkward storyline with Dexter and Deb, and I think you know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
with her. I don't know if you got that far where.
I watched all of it.
Okay, right, you did, right. And then, yeah, because she starts falling in love with her adopted brother, and it came out of nowhere. It wasn't like the whole series she's been, like, fighting. It was just like, they're a brother and sister, and then, like, oh, I might love him, and it's like, what? Like, it was awful. And it was so cruel of them to do that, because
I wanted it to end so much earlier than it did.
it was so cruel, because in real life they were married, and then when they got divorced, they're like, hey, we're going to put you two together. And it was like, you assholes. Like, they're in the middle of the divorce, and you make a love story for them now. Like, you're jerks. Like, yeah, I think 1 to 4, if it just did that, and then the 5th season was the end, that could possibly be one of the greatest shows of all time. But it was just, those last seasons took away, like, the quality every time. Like, Lumen,
Lumen sucked.
hate Lumen.
But yeah, I agree with what you said. How, like, when Bev found out, it was like a shocker. You're like, oh man, like, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
And like, I felt that way. But like the following season, it was.
It felt like the show could be saved, and for a while it did
Yeah.
feel like it was good again, and then
Yeah.
it got back to like, oh, we're just back to sucking. Because I think
Yeah.
the beginning of when she found out was good, because it was all new, and she
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
because he lied. Remember he says the one time, then when he got home, all
Yeah.
the stuff was gone. Like, it was back to like, oh, some
Yeah.
really good stuff's happening, and that was just like, wow, like, and I think it was too many killers too. Because it's like, how come Miami has so many serial killers? Like, they should have just kept it him just doing his thing, killing random people. They didn't always need like a big thing, you know, like him and like
Yeah,
Deb finding
that's
out. That's a big thing. You don't really need a villain. Like, you don't. I don't like, you do, but I don't know. Like, it's tough, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just- like, the last season aside, I personally think just how they decided to end it was bad. Like, the final episode, like, the outcome of what happened to Dexter, it makes me mad.
Okay, I'm good.
So, I don't know.
Wait, what are you talking about? Season 8 or season 7?
The last
The
episode.
very, like, what they did with, like, how he went out.
Yeah.
I don't care. Spoil it.
Well,
Like,
they
it-
gave
I
it
us
haven't
a
was-
seen it.
Are you gonna watch it
Yeah,
though?
that's,
Do you know what
I
happened?
probably won't. I don't know what happened.
Oh, really?
Are
I'll
you
never
planning
see
on
it.
watching it?
Probably not, honestly.
Okay. Spoiler
Big
alert.
spoiler alert! If you're planning on watching Dexter, tune out for like 2 to 5 minutes.
So basically, he gives his kid to Luna.
Hannah.
To
Hannah
Hannah.
McCann.
Who was a good character. I liked
Yeah,
her.
And
She's
he
awesome.
he
Yeah.
gave, and he's like, go to Paris or wherever, and he's like, I'll meet you guys there. And then he takes his boat out into a storm to kill himself, but he actually becomes a logger and continues to live his life without his kid and his girlfriend.
Backstory, because Deb dies,
Turns
and
into a
it's
fucking lumberjack.
Deb dies,
the
and it's
Wolverine.
kind of his fault. So of course he blames himself, but like it defeats the purpose because like Deb would not want him to do this. But like the part,
But it just leaves it so open, too, because it's like, well, now he's a lumberjack that could be killing people, and
Yeah.
it's just, you know, and it's...
Well, you were saying, Travis, in another episode that it's because they could.
that was when we were having dinner together.
Oh, okay. But
Ooh.
My girlfriend was there. Okay, it wasn't like that.
And like that, like they could bring it back if they want.
That's
to.
why they did it.
I know,
Because
and
they
that,
want to bring it
and that
back.
makes me mad.
And he's like, I don't really want to come back, but they're still like, don't worry, like we're leaving it open. He's still like, I don't want to come back.
And
Like,
I don't think they should have done that. I think
No.
they should have finished it and just, I mean, you know, at least give yourselves a good ending instead of that shit show.
yeah, because that the channel Showtime had nothing else, so that's why there's like, this is our cash cow, we can't get rid of it. And because they're still talking about doing a spin-off, but I don't think
Yeah,
there's
but,
much
okay.
talks right now.
So,
Because he's done. He's on Broadway. He's just chilling there doing
well,
stuff.
whatever, they want to have another show, do it 10 years later and have Harrison
Yeah.
doing, you know, avenging his father.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Dexter. They could end that show properly.
And especially, too, they did that red herring of him getting, like, an apprentice in the last season. So I thought, okay, they'll kill Dexter, but this kid who's learning from him, who I actually liked the kid, because at first he was, like, kind of off, but then he started learning the code, and then, like, no, let's kill him, and they killed him. It was like, it got too much, like, shock value, like, stuff, like, let's just do it to, like, shock people. But it's like, that's not why I liked Dexter. I liked it because
It
of
was
the
so
character.
planned out.
Yeah,
and
and it was-
everything was down to the finest detail.
It felt it felt like you were in his head, and that was the thing in the last seasons. He didn't really talk too much, and when he did, it was just like, oh, I better get over there. Like, it was just random stuff. I liked when he'd be like, oh, this is jokes, and like, these are the reasons
Yeah.
I hate him, and you'd like laugh, and like, he'd explain why he's getting donuts. But now it was just like, I should look up this file in my head, and it's like, he's just like, I'm not gonna think about the word, but there's a word there, but he's just saying this stuff out loud, and yeah, it's one of my favorite shows still. I'm actually planning to name one of my kids after Dexter. I love the hell of that show, but I hate the ending. It is one of those things where it's just, it's
it
awful.
kind of ruined.
Yeah, it did. It does to a point. It does. Like,
It really does. It's
I just
unfortunate.
kind of think about those first four, and I try to put the other out. Like, you know what? Those first four are amazing. Just think about that, and the rest just like, because I watch those over.
Even when you mentioned, like you said, Dexter, the first thing my mind goes to is, that crap ending.
Yeah,
That, like,
that's
you know,
why.
it's what you go to.
I'm
that's
hoping
how-
time.
And
will
that's like,
heal
he
it.
brings up Breaking Bad. Immediately, I'm like, the last season, that ending was so good. That's how
Do it
a show.
yourself.
That's how a show sticks with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dexter ruined it.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't watch the last season.
Yeah, don't. It's bad. And like, still,
There's no reason I have to watch it.
He
now.
leaves his kid with Hannah, who's a cool character, but why are you leaving your kid with a serial killer who is on the most wanted FBI list? Why didn't he leave it with Batista, who's a much better father and character? Like, no, I'm going to leave it with this crazy
psychopath.
woman. Yeah, and like, it was so bad. And like, same thing, yeah, he's a lumberjack, but his son's still out there, so he's just like a terrible person. Even if he was around, maybe protecting his son, but he didn't want to be in his son's life, but anyways, hashtag Dexter Rand. Still a good show if you want to watch it. It's not, I still say it's better than many, many shows out there. Those
Oh, yeah.
first four seasons are good. I liked the second season with Lila, and they find all the bodies in there. And even with Miguel, I loved him. Like, when he got a friend, and he was, like, doing all these fishing adventures and golfing. Like, all that, it was, see, when I talk about it, I think, like, this show was so good, and then it just, like, you know. Anyways, what's else on your list?
Oh yeah,
Griffin?
alright. Gotta think for a second.
So this is why I want to do this first, because I knew this would happen.
I'll go to my game now, which it's gonna be some confrontation here, but it's definitely Assassin's Creed series.
Taylor
Taylor just
raised
back
up
some water, so it's good to go.
It's clearing his
How's
throat.
that?
Yeah. So the series, when I first got introduced to it, is the first one on Xbox 360, and I played it at. No, I think I just heard about like the show, or not the show, sorry, the game, and I'm like, oh, that's such a cool concept. Like you're just like an assassin from like the ancient like days, basically. And it's like I love like that sort of era, how it's like no guns really, but then. But yeah, and then I loved it. Like, I played the first one. I was so obsessed with the story. I was like, oh, man, the cliffhanger at the end. I was like, this is the best game I've ever played. And then the second one came out. That was my most hyped game ever. it almost made my top 10 list actually for my all-time favorite games. Like I just loved it. I loved the whole era and everything. But then after, which was it, Brotherhood that came out after that
Brother
one?
came out next.
Yeah, Brotherhood. That was the one game where it all started falling out for me because I feel like
turning red.
I feel like when I played the second one, I put in so much time in that game. That was actually my first game I ever 100%ed. Like I got the platinum for it for PlayStation, and because I just loved it so much. And that one came out, it's like, oh, I got to do all of this again. Like that's how I felt about it at least. And I felt the story was sort of going downhill after that one. Like I know Brotherhood, the storyline was really good, but was it after that one that? Oh no, it was.
The next one was Revelations.
Yeah, and that was the last Desmond one, right?
Revelations was the one that was ending Altair and Ezio's stories.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I fell so out of it. I feel like you had to put in a lot of time to really enjoy the game, because that's how I became so obsessed with the second one, because I put in so much time, and then by the time the Brotherhood one came out, I just wasn't playing it that much, and I don't know, the whole I don't know. I didn't like the hook blade. I thought that was a little.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I didn't really like the hook blade that was in the game.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought
actually
something was-
amazed.
No,
that you agree with that.
I
Write it
can
down,
agree with
folks.
that.
Yeah.
It was something I never used in the game, but
Yeah.
for a lot of people, everyone, and out of all the assassins you can play as, everyone loves Ezio.
Yeah.
You play as him literally right when he's born. As a baby, you're playing as him.
You move his
And-
arms. You move his arms.
Yeah, and then right to the point where you last play as him in Revelations. That's why people loved all of that, because you got to play as his character from birth right until when he's literally an old man.
Hashtag follow it.
I guess I don't know. Understand that hashtag reference.
That hashtag reference. Hashtag reference.
Fallout 3, you learn the controls by playing as a baby and running around a room.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I played that.
And then you go into teenager phase. Anyway, go on with your
I like Revelations just for the story. I had I never really got into the multiplayer of it, but I had I won't lie.
That's the only thing I've
Nobody
played.
did.
The only thing of Assassin's Creed I've played is multiplayer. I've never even played the single player stuff.
Well, you gotta play the single player. The multiplayer sucked.
I
in my
don't.
opinion.
I don't
thought
know.
it was decent.
Brotherhood's introduction for multiplayer. I did almost. I'm missing one achievement for multiplayer for that, but I played the heck out of it. Got the highest level, unlocked everything. That was so much fun. Absolutely amazing. It was unlike any other multiplayer I've played in another game.
It was so
personally.
repetitive, though, I found. You just, every single time you're go in, you're alright, I gotta find this guy. And I guess, I don't know, for when I played it, it was super laggy. That's why, I played it twice, and then I just gave up. I was I can't play this. This is just ridiculous.
I liked it because you could really trick people, where you go up and use decoys to make all these guys in a group look like you, and you go hide in the haystack next to them, and you're waiting there, and after 5 minutes pass, you see this guy come around.
5 minutes?
Yeah, you have to wait. You see this guy
That sounds
walking
awful.
around. This guy's walking around, and he's looking suspicious, and then he comes up, and he's trying to figure out which one of these guys is my target, and he kills the wrong one, and then you go up and you can stun him and knock him to the ground, and you get points or whatever. But it was really cool because you can be walking through the crowd and you see your target, and you just gradually just bump into him, but you quickly poison him at the same time, and you get a massive amount of points. You can go from last place to first place just based on how well your kill is. I thought it was a really, really interesting way to have a multiplayer system. I thought it really incorporated the single player really well into the multiplayer, but Revelations. Yeah, that was hard.
Back to Kirkland.
Yeah, anyways.
So much ranting.
Was Revelation came out before the third? Yeah.
That's how this all started.
Yeah.
Let's do it back and
So
forth.
after I played Revelations, that was one where I basically decided that I was pretty much done with the series. I didn't really like the storyline to it, how you're just on the island, as Desmond, right?
Mhm.
And Animus Island, they called it. And I really fell off from that. I really didn't like the story, as I said, and
I
I
just
just
don't
wasn't
care
really
for
following
Assassin's
it.
Creed.
The second one, every single, those things that come up, it's database, it explains this about the city. I would read that on every single one because I was just so into that era, and I think that's why I fell so in love with the second one. And then when Revelations came out, I'm all right, they're going back to Altair. That's pretty cool, but I don't know, I didn't really like it. The third one I really didn't like because, as I said, the reason I loved the first two is because there was no guns, and they had guns in that one. I was like, oh, that sucks. But the gameplay was really awesome, I must admit. The fact that you could run pick up things while you're running and like assassinate people with it. Like I thought that was really cool. And obviously it's not like comparable to the first one because that was like their first game like ever. But the second one, yeah. I don't even know where to go with this.
You're never gonna justify Taylor.
Yeah, I
so
know.
just tell us
It's
why.
hard. But yeah,
I can agree with certain things.
like it's hard to explain why I fell out of it. But I think it's because I think the main reason was because I was so in love with the second one that nothing could beat it. And then the newest ones came out, and I tried to get into it. I'm like the Brotherhood. I hated how you have to like defend your bases. When like
No, that wasn't in Brotherhood. That was Revelations.
oh okay, yeah, Revelations. And I really like that was the part where I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm not gonna buy any more of these.
That's what I liked about Brotherhood, because in Assassin's Creed 2, you paid to hire those groups of mercenaries. In Brotherhood, I loved how you could just call in, and you have these guys dressed as assassins and
Oh,
come
that was
in
so
and fight
overpowered,
with
though.
you. It was really overpowered.
Now, you're going to disagree, but do you feel that them coming out so soon all the time had anything to do with you falling
Me?
in love with it? Yeah. Now that it pretty much... Does one come out every year now?
I don't think so.
No.
I think, like I said already, like the main reason was because I was so in love with the second one, and like the major changes that they made to it. Desmond, I really love Desmond. His storyline. Once that was done, I'm like, okay, there's no point for me to really touch that. And unless they come out with like, I think they came out with one for the PlayStation Vita. It was about
You're gonna go buy a
Adeline
Vita?
DeGrun.
was it like Japanese?
No, she was Spanish.
Oh, okay.
It was
yeah.
alongside
Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed
Creed 3.
If they ever make out one that's like Japan, like Old Samurai, I'll totally buy that
They
instantly.
do. It's a side scroller.
Yeah, I'm
He's
I'm
not
obviously
playing a
not gonna play
side
that.
scroller.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
If they ever come with that, I'll get into it. But it's like I feel for me, it's not the series I fell in love with. It was that game, like Assassin's Creed 2. That
That's a
era.
good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very poetic.
thank you. So yeah, and then other games can't really think about right now. Like, we already
It's
talked
hard
about.
because
We already talked about
things
Call
that
of
you
Duty.
just forget about, right?
Yeah, we already talked about Call of Duty. Dance Dance Revolution. I used to play that actually a lot with my sister, believe it or not. But once she moved out, I just couldn't find myself in my living room playing that by myself, like on a Saturday morning. I was
You
like,
invite me over, I'll come play.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, if I have someone like we already like touched on it, like rhythm games, I found was a lot more of a social thing, and
for sure.
so like when I play games, mostly on my own or with online people, and it's like you're not playing Dance Dance Revolution online, like multiplayer.
They
But,
should.
yeah, there
then you
you
don't have the embarrassment of dancing in front of your friends. You can just
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
compare.
You can just hide in your basement playing DDR all day. But
Uploading your 6 scores. That's all you do is play DDR.
yeah. So rhythm games fell off. I feel like I'll think of something, but as of right now, those are my major lists. Assassin's Creed was the big one. I feel like
Taylor's just look.
I feel like the
Yeah,
reason
Emperor
Assassin's Creed
Screamer.
was such a big one though for me is because I loved the second one and then it just fell off for me. Like it was just that was the one I'll remember at least.
Did you play Black Flag?
Oh yeah, that was the last. Yeah, actually, yeah, that was the last one I played. And the reason I liked that is because it was a pirate game more than Assassin's Creed game.
That's like almost.
I was actually, yeah, like I was actually,
pirate.
no, I was telling that to my friends. He's like, yeah, like it's sick. Like you're not even an assassin. He's the one who like convinced me to get it. He's like, you're just a pirate. You just go and like, and he's like, oh man, if they ever make like a pirate game like just based on this basically, because like you just go in, take someone's like ship down, like that was so much fun. Like,
Oh yeah.
but like. When I think of Assassin's Creed, I think of like sneaking up to people, like Hidden Blade and stuff. But like that's why I love Black Flag so much because it wasn't like that. Even though I love the second one, I don't know. It's a weird situation. For
Kind
me.
of like a different series almost.
Yeah, it felt like it for sure.
Well, Taylor, like the field, the man who loves everything.
Like the field. Well, this is difficult. And
I know.
I really like difficult. Okay, emphasize on the word difficult.
Because Taylor doesn't dislike things.
No, when I like something,
He
I
likes
like it.
He likes
If I
it,
don't like
folks.
something, I don't
I don't
play it.
like it.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
like it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got one thing. That's all I could really think
One
of.
my
thing.
God.
You know, I'm
Wow.
actually kind of amazed he got 1.
Yeah.
I'm amazed too, actually.
I can't wait to hear
I'm
it.
so stoked to hear it is. It'll be something we all love. Just watch.
Yeah.
Need for Speed.
Okay.
I love the older Need for Speeds, especially the original Most Wanted. I played it, and I
On your top 10?
Yeah, it was actually. I forgot about that. I did everything except for one thing, and it was really difficult, but Most Wanted was absolutely fantastic. The storyline, I love the campaign, and the free roaming aspect of it, and the police chases, it was just flawless, in my opinion. Its sequel after that, Carbon, was okay. It wasn't that bad. The story was interesting, but after that, I found that all the other ones just didn't add up. Even the remake of Most Wanted, it didn't compare to the original as much as I thought it would. And they're still pumping out Need for Speeds somehow. Yeah, I'm surprised.
And movies that are terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Movies that I haven't even seen yet, so
Don't.
I won't say anything.
All I got is Aaron Paul, and that's it.
That's all I got.
I would add Need for Speed to my list for sure, because I played it a lot with my cousin when I was younger, and you don't see me playing it now. Like, it just totally fell off. I played a lot of them. Like Underground 2 was actually the first one I ever played, and that was before Most Wanted, I think. That was a couple before Most Wanted, and I played that one, and then played Most Wanted, and played like Hot Pursuit and things like that. But like, I feel like now, like, if I was gonna play, like, if a new Need for Speed came out, I feel like I'd probably pick like something like Drive Club over that. Like, me personally, or
I like Dirt. Dirt's fun.
Dirt?
Game.
I'd race in Grand Theft Auto before I'd race on
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Need for Speed right now.
Yeah. So I loved it, and it definitely fell off. So it'd definitely make its spot on my list for sure. Mr. Travis.
Mr. Travis. They call me Mr. Tips. Good movie. In the Heat of the Night. Watch it. Good book. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Call. We talked about Breaking Bad. So I'll change up a bit. I put Linkin Park.
Wait, you had Breaking Bad on your list?
Or sorry. Walking Dead. Sorry. No, God, no.
I sounded really flustered there when I asked that question.
I threw in a couple music, and I threw in Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace. Linkin Park, that first album, which I'm so mad I'm forgetting the name, but where it had In the End and Numb, like, it's just something I grew up on in that.
Hybrid Theory.
What?
Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, like, it was something I grew up on, and those songs still today, whenever they hit, you get so pumped. Like, that is on the workout track every time, like, so good. And now they're really poppy. They're doing like Transformer theme songs all the time. And
I liked a couple of their Transformers ones.
Yeah, like
a couple.
They like to rip off Michael Myers songs, but that's okay. Yeah, you know they are, so don't even. There's been a couple songs here and there that are good, but it's not like I can't be like, oh, good, back in Linkin Park. Like, it's just good. Like, anybody could do it. That original sound they had is gone because there's a big break in between their albums. So yeah, I really like the original one. Their stuff now is meh, and the other one is 3 Days Grace. I love 3 Days Grace, one of my favorite bands. It was actually my first concert, but they have a new singer now, and I don't like him. He just kind of sounds like a generic, just kind of like, I can yell a lot, so I'm like, cool. Like, and the other guy seemed like he had more range. But, yeah, so that was me for bands. For TV shows, which is pretty good because coming back next week, is American Horror Story, actually. I've talked about a few fans, or a few casts. I'm a big horror fan. That first season that came out was really good. It's an anthology series, so it's always something different. But the first season was just about a haunted house and really good. It's classic Ryan Murphy of like lots of meta stuff, lots of sex, lots of drugs, lots of cool kill stuff like that. And it is a really, really good crafted season. And then the next season they did it in an asylum, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be great. And it was awful. Like, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, it's good. It's that horror thing of, like, oh, it's fun because it's horror, but not, like, good horror. And then the third season after they did Witches, and it's like, and every season they do, it's always like, oh, this was good, but nothing that, like, the first season blew me away. And now, it was the same thing as Walking Dead. I was always excited for it to come back, but now I just kind of, like, write off, like, oh, cool, American Horror Story's back, I'll watch it. I like Ryan Murphy's stuff. I like Nick Tuck. I like Scream Queen. So I always like the stuff he does, but it's tough when you, kind of like we were talking about Assassin's Creed 2, when something's so good and you have like the standard now, like it should be this good every time, and then it's like, oh no, and it's just, so yeah, that for me. Has anyone ever watched that?
I want to.
It's the first season to me is really, really good, and the rest are just kind of like entertaining, but there's none of them that ever, they always start really good and then they just go off in like these random places. And this season, I don't know, Lady Gaga's in it. Like, I don't know, I don't really care either way. I just don't. She's like the main character, so for me, that's kind of like, like.
That sounds weird, actually.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind if she's in the show, but for her to be main character, I'm kind of like, But it fits with the community. They're big with the the LGBT community, so Lady Gaga is, and then. Oh yeah, the last two, no one's gonna know here. Ultimate X-Men, great comic book series. Eventually, midway through, they changed their artists and their the writer, and it goes away. It came out around the time when I could actually start buying comics for myself as a kid and use my allowance, and it was amazing. They did all this new stuff. It was a new take. It was X-Men as teenagers, and it was great. And they had like Wolverine and Jean Grey finally being together, which was great. And it was just this really good. It was like pretty much everything you knew about X-Men. They okay, they're gonna change it and put it on its head. And it was really good up until about like issue I think 50, and then they just changed the creative team and it sucked. And then after that, and my last one was the Saw franchise. I loved it. I still love it, but I wouldn't be excited if another one came out because the last one was awful. And it's kind of like that Dexter thing where like there's good ones and bad ones, but it just ended on such a terrible note. And there's a character that some people may know, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a character in the first one that lots of people loved, and like it was left in a mystery if he survived or lived. And then here's a spoiler, but anyways, in the last one, finally they say he's coming back, and it's like this big thing, like oh man, he's back. There's been fan theories for years about what happened to this character after the movie, like if he got away, blah, blah, and he comes back and he's in it for like a matter of maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and it was really disappointing, and it was just this big build up, and just like, no, he's gone, and like he's like there, and it was just awful, and it was the last one, and they were hyping up to be so good, and it was awful. Yeah.
I'm on board with the Saw. I was actually thinking about saying that one.
Yeah.
The first, like, I actually really like 2. A lot of people disagree with me.
I like 2.
I think I probably even like 2 more than 1. Probably 2, 1, and then 3
I'll disagree
on.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many
love-
is there? 6?
There's 7.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot.
And the one that's a hidden gem, the first 3 I like a lot because those are all the same crew, and then 4 they switch up, but the one I really like is 6 for some reason. I was a big Hoffman fan. I loved him. When he has to like break his own like jaw and he gets he's such a badass. He's so cool. I love that man. But
No, I don't know. 2, like trapped in the house and like getting thrown in the needle pit. Like
so
cringe-worthy. Every time I watch it, I cringe. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it.
great twist at the end too with
Yeah.
that, and then that's the reason why number 1 outranks it, because for me that's still the biggest twist I've ever seen in my life. Of like, oh, that was right there. Like I knew it the whole time, and you didn't. Like, and it was just I like the whole like these 2 are locked in a bathroom. If they want to get out, they can saw their leg, and there's a lot of good stuff. And it's so low budget, but it's really good.
I think that's where it kind of goes back to we kind of disagree on slowness being okay.
Yeah.
For me, 2 was a lot more fast-paced, right? It's a little easier.
Yeah, a lot of characters, a lot of traps.
Yeah, where 1 is definitely like, this is what the series is going to be like.
Yeah.
And kind of that intro, and then 2 kind of kicks it up.
Yeah. No, I definitely like slower stuff. I definitely have a knack for that. But did you see the last one?
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, and it was bad.
I saw all of them in theaters, except for the first, unfortunately.
But even the last one wasn't like the rest of them where they had like good stuff. I felt like just the whole thing
Yeah,
start
it
to
was just-
finish was bad.
Yeah, which is kind of like, well, how do we want to end this? And then it was like, let's roll a dice. Okay, we're going to do this with this character.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
And I don't know if you noticed this, but did the pink blood bother you at all?
pink. I don't remember pink.
If you ever watch it again, because the 3D, they didn't reconvert it, so now on all the DVDs, the blood is pink.
Nice.
And it's awful. And it's just, it's such a shame. It's just like a joke of itself. Like, I feel like sometimes they made that movie to, like, spoof themselves, because it's so bad. It's just, yeah, it's just beyond bad. It sucks, because the first ones I felt like were really thought out, and they had some good acting, and then it was just, yeah, just maybe went on too long.
Another one
I don't know.
too that I really liked was the Angel. She had like
Look up the
claws
rib
under
cage.
her ribs, and she had to like reach into acid to pull out a key. But if she didn't pull it out quick enough, the key dissolved. But
Yeah,
if she
I remember
reached in,
that.
it burned her hand and like melted her hand. That one was like quality.
I think the most
You
brutal...
okay there, Kirkland?
I just can't stand that series.
What did he call it?
Just two
Oh,
crows
the
from-
rack. And same thing in 3, when his legs and his arms were pinned in, and then if a matter of time they would
Oh, turn.
crank, and then eventually his head would, and then it was great. He's just hugging him. I'm sorry, and his head just breaking. There was a lot of good traps. I really like, and that's the thing why I feel maybe that franchise went downhill, because even though the big traps were great, I felt like the bigger they got, like there's that one where they're like hanging from cars and they fall on fans, like that was stupid. Even those rack ones and that, they're still smaller. I didn't like when they do the huge elaborate ones. Like one of my favorites is just the box, when he has his box, the head in the box,
And, you
and
got
it's
stab.
yeah, but that wasn't even part of the trap. What was he supposed to do? I can't remember, because I know he rigged it. But either way, he has the head on his box,
Head on his box?
There's a different movie. There's a glass box on his head, and it's just slowly starting to fill with water, and he has to figure out how to get it. And it's really good. It's a 5-minute scene, and there's like no music, and it's really good of him trying to struggle. And it's really good, and that's what I liked about Saw was the simple like traps like that, because the traps that were over like way too big, you couldn't relate with, because you're like, I don't know. But with drowning, you know, like, I know what drowning would be like. That'd be terrible. I know, like, well, I don't know what ribs would be like, but I know what burning ass would like. The ones that you could actually know, but the ones that were so over the top, it didn't matter. Because, like the ones where the girl had to chop off her own arm, like, I don't know. That doesn't really scare me, because I've never chopped off my arm, so it's not like, oh my god. Like, it's kind of like...
Yeah, the one where it was, like, there was a scale, and the guy had to cut off his own flesh to, like, weigh down the scale enough. But another one, too, that I really like, which was in 2 as well, for you guys that don't know, they're basically trying to find a cure. And this one girl, she finds a cure in a box that's like a circle of razors. And so she has to reach in up through the razors to grab the cure. And she does that, and then she can't pull her hand down because the razors are just pushing up all the skin on her hands. And, like, watching that, it's just... 2 just made me cringe. I love it.
Because she was so loopy to get out of the trap, the crazy side, it's right above. You can see the loop where she could pull it. So... Yeah, and that was maybe another problem too. I just remember I was thinking about traps. With 6, I love it, but the only thing I hate is the carousel, because it's good, but Jigsaw is just deliberately killing people, and that whole, like, he has to pick 2, and it's just the gun shooting him, and it was like, that's what happened too. The message of Jigsaw really got lost of, like, oh, the traps were always, like, you could always get out of this, you just gotta find a way, where eventually it's kind of like, we're just gonna really, like, one of you has to die, and it's like, that's not the way it was supposed to, and, like, it got a bad excuse, like, in the 6th one, the guy got a trap there because he was a smoker, and it was like, this is all we could think of? Like, this is his, like, you're a smoker, so you're in here. It's like, come on.
Didn't he have, like, cancer or something, and then he beat cancer, and then he was still
I know, but all other ones were, like, murderers and rapists and con artists and, like, a smoker. It's like, I don't know. It was kind of like, I got what they're going for, but it was just kind of like, we're running out of ideas here, guys. But, and what I was going to say before we move on, because we probably should from Saw, but the first one was supposed to be in an elevator, actually. And I thought that would have been really bad, because... That would have been bad.
Yeah. Someone just like, floor 1. Oh, there's some guys dying in here. I'll just wait for the next one.
Well, I guess it was supposed to be like an abandoned building, and the elevator would be stuck at a floor. But I like just the room would be, Anyways, if you like Saw, that was great. If you didn't...
I didn't.
Yeah. I can see why.
I want to go home and watch them now, actually. It's got me, like, hyped on it.
I for Halloween.
I think I've seen, like, half of the first one, and I don't know. I never really was attracted to that, like...
Torture
idea.
porn?
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
exactly. It is torture porn. They said the first one, it was like, gross, but it wasn't overly gross.
Yeah, but, like, same with, like, Final Destination, where it's just, like, they're eventually just gonna die. It's like, for me, that's not interesting.
That's actually, I could probably add Final Destination to
I was actually thinking of that.
I never liked those. It was just never for me. I'm not a big fan of, like, when you can't stop the evil. Like, I like a physical, like, being there. Like, with Ghost, you can still, like, Ghost, but this was just like, oh, you're gonna die because of fate, and it's like... Like Kirkland, well, they're all gonna die then. Like, you can't, like, you're gonna, even the main characters would always die, so, yeah.
Saw was just gross for me.
Yeah, it's quality.
Barbed wire trap.
See, like, cringing, like, how you like that, I don't like that. It's like, oh, that's gross.
Like, when she, I think it's the second one, when she, like, rips off.
Best trap ever, the reverse bear trap.
And you watch it, like, spring open, like, as soon as she throws it off, it's just like, you're sitting there on edge.
Yeah.
This is an extremely uncensored episode.
We're going all over. It's an uncensored.
We'll post photos on our Facebook page.
We're talking about this. You're talking about this.
I don't know. Definitely quality, though. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
I am done with my list, so.
Yeah, I only thought of a couple things.
All right.
This one, I expect I'm going to get some flack, but...
I always worry when people say that.
Lord of the Rings. Not so much the Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit. The Hobbit, I was, like, super into Lord of the Rings. Like, I've seen all of them so many times. And I saw the first Hobbit in theaters. And then I started the second one at home. And I couldn't even finish the second one. I haven't even seen the third one. It's gone downhill.
Did you like the first one?
It was okay. I read The Hobbit, though. And I didn't feel it needed 3 movies. So for
That's
me,
the general consensus. It didn't need to be that long.
Do you feel like it could have been 2 or 1 would have been good enough?
I would have even been okay with 2.
Because originally it was 2, and then they're like, let's just do another.
2 is, like, become the main thing to do. You know, the final battles or final books are 2 and 2 and 2. You know, Hunger Games and Twilight and Harry Potter. It's become a trend. 2 is acceptable. 3 was not necessary.
3 was a money grab, I feel, just because they knew it would make money. No, I agree 100%. Lord of the Rings, I think, is the greatest trilogy of all time. And Hobbit, I was so excited. I remember it's in the theater, and it starts with the Shire, and Frodo's like reading stories. I'm like, this is gonna be great. And I'm gonna say it, I fell asleep at the end. I woke up because Gollum was there, and I heard that voice. I'm like, oh. I was also very sick, because I don't know if I've told you this guy's story, but a little off topic, but whatever. We'll go right back in The Hobbit. But whole time, last hour, I'm sick. But I'm like, I gotta stay this, because it's The Hobbit, of course. And I just had bruschetta. And, like, literally waiting, movie ends, right when credits hit, literally, you just see this guy sprint, and it's me. And I'm go through the exit, and it's snowing. So I'm in Kelowna, West Side Theater, hands and knees just throwing up. Everyone's coming out of the theater, and I'm just there, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. And it's one that's not like,
wow, you didn't like that movie, did you?
Yeah, it's not one where I threw him done, it was just like, kept going and going, and I was like, oh my god. And then the next day of work, it sucked, I didn't go in, but the whole night, or the whole day I was telling people, like, oh yeah, I'm seeing it at midnight. This one shows were really late, it was like at 10 or 10:30, so I had to phone in, and I knew, like, they accept it, but I knew, like, they're like, oh, he's probably just tired, he ain't sick, because the whole day I'm like, oh, I'm going at 10:30, and then next night I phone, like, oh, I can't make it in, I'm sick. I'm like, they're gonna think, no way I'm sick, but I was throwing up the whole day, whole night. Anyways, yeah, I fell asleep for The Hobbit, and that's, yeah, I really like
The Hobbit. I didn't mind it, but it definitely did not compare at all to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I really liked the second one, and then the third one, I'm the same as you. I was unhyped. I saw it like 3 weeks after release because I was like, oh yeah, let's go see The Hobbit. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was a big, maybe most disappointing like franchise ever for me because I was so excited.
Oh, I actually didn't really expect anyone to agree with me on
I
that
thought you were going to say Lord of the Rings, and then I was like,
I feel like most people have that view though. I feel like most people weren't entirely happy with The Hobbit.
People call it Jackson's George Lucas moment. Like, they say that's what he did with it. Like, and you look at it, look at the orcs. Look at the orcs in Lord of the Rings. They're legitimately scary and cool looking, where in The Hobbit, they're all just CGI. And it's exactly like George Lucas. Like, oh, let's just CGI. Let's just do this. And, yeah, it was one of those where I feel like The Hobbit is like the Star Wars first three of people look at it of like...
I never thought of it that way, but that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. That's a very good description.
Even timeline-wise.
Yeah, it fits. Like, it's always the prequels. Like, it's not like the Lord of the Rings were shitty and then, like, The Hobbit were amazing. Like, yeah, no. And I own the first Hobbit. I don't even know if I'm going to buy the other two.
Well, just like, how do you do 3 books in 3 movies and then 1 book in 3 movies?
Yeah.
One small book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one book that I read in grade 10, you know, obviously it's not overly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
So.
Now, I'll ask this question. I don't know if it will matter. Does anyone know who Guillermo del Toro is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Silent Hills. He was going to make the Silent Hills game.
He originally was going to direct The Hobbit, the 2, and then something fell through and they brought Jackson back. Do you think that would have been better? Because I originally wanted Jackson. When Del Toro went, I want the original guy. But now I wonder with someone else, because he's a big practical effect guy. So I wonder if
Isn't
what it
he,
would
like,
have been
mainly
like.
for horror movies? Is that what you
Oh, yes and no.
Yeah, but then that would have added to, like, the orcs not being scary and stuff.
Like, he doesn't use CGI.
I've never seen The Hobbit, like, any of them. I was gonna go see the first one, and then I had to work that night, and then I just ended up not going, and then, my friend saw it, he's like, yeah, it was good, like, you don't have to see it.
I've met no one that's, like, loved it. I'm waiting to meet
There's
someone
a lot
like, I
of
love
good
all
shout-outs to
3.
Lord of the Rings, though.
Yeah, and then when...
no, there's not, though.
They're, like, really hidden, but there's a lot of good stuff.
Did you see the third one? They literally at one point tell Legolas, like, oh, there's this guy named Strider. Like, but they talk about
No, I'm not talking
Aragorn.
about that. Like,
okay, and, like, Legolas is in there. He's not even in The Hobbit.
Yeah, well, neither is, what's her name? Toriel?
She's a made-up character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just bad, overall, I think.
Yeah.
Not bad, but just disappointing. Like, yeah, no, that's a good one. I'd agree with that. Like, I still...
I kind of separated them, so that's
me
why.
too. I don't because it's different with Star Wars. I feel like I have to watch all 6 together. But then with The Hobbit, I feel like I can just and then watch Lord of the Rings. But for some reason, anytime I watch Star Wars, I'm like, I gotta watch these first 3 first and get through them. Like, I don't know why. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, like for me, like I love the Lord of the Rings series. Like that was like you said, one of the best like trilogies of all time. But like I've read The Hobbit, and it's like I don't really feel like with like how people have been like reviewing it. Like, or at least to me, they're like, oh yeah, it was all right. Like, like they're really long, and there's 3 movies, so I'm like, oh, I don't really have time for that. But it's like I read the book, so it's not like I'm missing too much.
I was like super excited to have a 6-movie Lord of the Rings.
Me
like,
too. Well, when I thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly. And then that happened, and I'm like, no, I'll just stick with my Lord of the Rings. I'll just do 12 hours instead of 24.
Yeah. Do you got the extended versions?
But yeah.
I love the extended versions. Come in this cool black case.
Anyway, anyone else? I'm good.
We're good.
Supernatural. I don't know if anyone's watched Supernatural.
I've seen some of it.
some of it.
I've seen like the sick. Is that the one with the two brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim and
I've
Sam,
seen.
And they hunt demons.
I saw one of the seasons with my
Based on
sister.
Taylor and I.
It was like it wasn't even the earlier one. It was like the later one, and I was like, it was cool.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 4 or 5 seasons, and I was like super in love with it. And then I don't know, there's like a huge fan base for it still, and people are saying that the new seasons are really good, but I just can't get myself back into it to get there.
What is it, 11 or 12 now, the seasons?
I think they're going on 12.
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shows that I always worry. It was supposed to end, and then they're like,
Yeah.
let's keep making. And that's always like a part that worries me. Of like when we talk about Dexter, it was supposed to end at a certain point. Like, no, we could get some more seasons. And
They've got such a huge fan base, and people are still loving it. So
Yeah.
I mean, they went away from being a serious show and went to mockery, and you know, it's kind of jokey. They've done episodes where like they make fun of themselves.
that sucks.
So I mean, you know, they don't.
Yeah.
They're not really even doing what their original show was about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But-
I used to really like it.
Yeah,
And
but as long as people are watching, they'll do it. Like it's the same thing when you talk about Dexter. That last episode is the highest rated episode of all time. So it's not like, oh, everyone felt that way. It was just like more mainstream people that watch it. And I feel like maybe Supernatural the same way. Like a lot of people got on it, and now it's like, oh, we don't got to end it because we're
yeah, there's enough
killing
people
it.
that
Yeah. So
And then another one, I don't know if any of you guys have got to see it yet, but the Maze Runner series has just died in my books. Did you get to watch it yet?
I don't know.
you didn't really give him a glowing review, so I think
Yeah, but-
he was gonna watch it, and then he's got.
I think even if when I do sit, I probably won't tell you that I saw it.
Don't want to have a friendly debate about it?
I don't know if it'd be a friendly debate. I feel like it might be fiery, and you might get really mad at me.
No, if you
I loved it. They'll be like best movie ever.
No, but it'd be different because you haven't read the books. And
Yeah, that's
I'd be
true.
interested to hear what you think of it, not knowing what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way with comic books. I like asking people that don't read them, so I can be like, "Why'd you like that?" and "Why'd you like that?" I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I can give insight. Because, I mean, you don't know how it's supposed to end. You don't know what characters are supposed to do what. So it'd
Yeah.
be interesting to hear.
Is it still in theaters? I don't know. I probably won't
Yeah.
Yeah,
see it in
it's
theaters.
only been out for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, this is the third week.
I'll probably
Still
wait.
making money. It's getting
I'll
terrible
see it on
reviews.
Netflix in a few
but-
months.
Yeah,
months.
it'll be on
Really
I
Netflix.
don't really care about seeing it right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, the books were amazing. Really good flow and character development and everything. The first movie was still good, didn't really follow the books. And then, for any of you that haven't read that, the second movie does not even touch the books at all. It's a completely different movie that, like, the beginning doesn't start out how the book started. The end isn't even the same as the book ends. I have no idea what they're going to do for the last book, the Kill Cure, just because it didn't end the same as the book. So where they're going to go, I don't know.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah, so...
That seems so bizarre that they would do
yeah,
that.
Yeah. That's not a good sign for your third one.
No, I know. I'm really quite worried.
It is unfortunate because I did like the first one. So
Yeah, I read the book. It is different, but I still liked it. I thought the first... But I just...
did
you
you
know,
read it before you saw the first movie?
Nope. I watched the first movie, and then I
Right.
bought the book.
I feel like we talked about this a
and
while
then,
ago.
yeah, read the books, and then I went back and rewatched the first movie
Yeah.
after and compared. And I still really liked it. I was able to watch it and be like, oh, well, this is different, this is different. But they had the same elements, and you could point in the book and be like, oh, well, that's where this is happening. And, you know, it followed the same lines. Nothing. And, like, there's... The main picture for the Scorch Trials is them running across a building over this, like, giant gap, and the building's, like, falling. That doesn't happen in the book. Why is this the main picture? It doesn't even happen. And I don't even remember it happening in the movie. I'll rant about Scorch
Actually,
Trials forever, so let's
So much
just...
I'll
salt.
probably watch the first one. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, the first one's good. Watch the
should
first
check
one
it
on
out.
It's a
Netflix.
bunch of new stuff October. Lots
Dude,
of stuff on
SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water.
Oh yeah.
Watch it. Do it. Hot Tub Time
It's been on
Machine
there for
2.
a while, hasn't it? The new SpongeBob one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
It's
either.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
October. It just
They added a
Oh,
bunch
okay.
of stuff.
Yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Yeah, no, I saw it
Just
last
watch
night.
it.
I almost watched it.
I watched it this morning. I watched it in theater too. I love the Hot Tub
Flash
Time
and Arrows up there for anybody that hasn't seen them.
Machine. SpongeBob Out of Water.
They're both pretty good, but yeah.
Moving along. This was actually on my
Moving
top
along.
10.
I thought you said you only had like one thing.
That's why I said I
mean,
want to
this
go
is
last.
good,
I've
but,
added
like,
No,
more.
it's good. Yeah.
Spyro.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved like the first one.
Didn't they get really bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Exactly.
I never played those bad games, so for me, 1 and 2 are just in my
Yeah.
mind as like
Same.
golden 2 of like those games are amazing. I never even not even played like a demo or at a friend's, just played those first.
Yeah, I was
two,
like
and
that. I played the first 2 on the PlayStation 1, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then I don't know how
That's
it
it.
happened, but I have like the Hero's Tale, the one that came on the GameCube, and it's in my house. I've never played it before. Like,
Well, apparently don't.
yeah, exactly.
don't
Like I
like
maybe I
that.
should stay away from it. Maybe I should throw it in the river or something.
Yeah.
Abandon it.
You know, fireplace, heat your house at Christmas. Why
yeah,
not?
exactly.
And then last one that I have is Sonic. Sonic was like classic childhood, and then like Sonic Heroes was just
Awful.
disgusting. They've released the new one.
And then they put him in Smash, and he was really annoying in Smash. And
Yeah, they're all just bad now.
So
Sonic
Yeah, I think
Generation,
you pretty
I think
much-
the newer one was,
it was
and it was awful.
Yeah.
Like it was really,
I think you can
bad.
pick up like a lot of children's games that were good when you were a kid,
Yeah.
and then now they've just kind of
I would definitely agree with that. Sonic the Hedgehog, that was one of the original games I ever played, like the first one. It was like Sega
it
Genesis.
was on your top 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Almost.
it was, yeah.
No, he said
oh
he
yeah,
almost
no,
put
it
it
was
as number
almost.
one
Yeah,
almost,
it was,
too.
it was top
Yeah, there's
15.
an honorable mention.
It was,
that
it was
could've
top
been number
11.
one.
It was, yeah, it was top 11 that could have been number 1.
First to
But,
last.
Do you feel? Because I've been thinking about this and talking about this with other people. Do they need to do like a Super Mario, like a new Super Mario Bros. For Sonic, where it's like the same thing of like side-scrolling but
Sonic Maker?
3D? No, not
well,
that.
like-
but like the same that they did with Wii and Wii U with the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Like they were like
side
old,
scroller Sonic.
Yeah, but
I
it-
would play it.
but it was 3D updated graphics. Do you feel like that's the way they got to do to get
Yeah.
back? Like, why do they always have to do
I
these?
feel like people would
gimmicky-
buy that.
Well, like,
yeah,
like I really, really love like the original one for the Sega, and
so good.
like that, yeah, like it's like it, like that was like iconic. Like everyone's played that basically. But I actually really like. There was one on GameCube. It was called Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I don't know.
Dude, yes.
Yes, it was
With
like
the Chow
yeah.
Garden?
You just make the Chow Garden. Like I wouldn't even
Yeah.
play the game. I would just you just like you just raise your Chow Garden, and
Garden?
I always went
What the heck
Shadow
is
because
this
I always
Chow
tried to make the
Garden?
Shadow one, and then
Yeah, but then
there's
you,
the dark
you gotta,
one, and
like,
there's the
you
white
gotta
one.
only go in your dark Chow Garden
Yeah,
because if you
yeah,
touch the light
exactly.
Chows with the dark characters, they get upset and they start crying.
It's like that was like that could be a game on its own.
Oh,
like
that game-
that was one of the best games ever.
You'd like go in, you'd have to like collect your like, there's like the unicorn, which is like super hard to get, and if you got one, you
Yeah.
like immediately, you're like, oh, I need to go
and
drop this
you don't
off.
want to feed your certain ones like the certain like pets that you pick up because then they look like one of those when you're trying to make your own like special chow. Like I remember trying to make like one for like every character
Those
almost.
chows.
Oh,
You guys don't know what chows
Hashtag
are?
that
We have no
Oh
idea
my
what you're
God.
talking
oh
about.
my god, it
Not
was
a clue.
the best ever. Like that, I think after that game, that was when
downhill.
And that
I
one
really
was
like-
good too because you had like Sonic and Shadow. You got to run around and race and jump over enemies and this
Oh,
and that. But when you're playing as Rogue or Knuckles, you
Yeah.
had to like go and climb walls and look for emeralds. And then there's Tails.
Dr. Eggman.
It's
It was Tails and Dr. Eggman. They had like their suit things.
Yeah, you're in a mecha suit and you have to run around.
Yeah,
in a
like,
mecha suit.
I-
So it's like tailored to the character you play.
Yeah, I love that game so much because that was like the first one. That was like one of the first games I played where you could play as the good guys and the bad guys, and I've always loved games that you could do that. I always thought that was such a cool concept. Shadow for me, that was like my favorite character ever.
I have like all A's on that game. Like
Yeah,
everything
oh
is
yeah.
perfect.
Like I literally bought it again on Xbox 360 with Xbox points because I
Oh,
saw it on there. I'm like, oh my
it's
god,
on Xbox
yeah,
360?
exactly. I'm like, I'm just getting it for the Chow Garden, and I just play the Chow Garden because it's so much fun.
I have my original for the GameCube still. You guys have not played this
I don't know.
game?
I had it for the GameCube originally, but I don't know.
You lost us minutes and minutes ago.
Chow Garden.
Chow Garden.
Oh,
Is that
man.
it for your
City
list
Escape?
there?
Like the
Hashtag
main
Chow
song.
Garden.
Save Chow Garden.
Me and Kirkland know where it's at.
Yeah, like if you guys played it back in the day, you'd be like, "That's my top 10 list." I honestly should have put
Why
that on my
wasn't
top
it?
10
Oh.
list.
You didn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
Because I don't own it. Like if I saw the case, I'd be like, "That game."
It's true. The game's like
That
that's
game.
the bread and butter of
Yeah,
games.
like
Bread
that
and
was
butter.
game of the decade right there.
Oh my god.
Is that it for your list there,
Yeah.
Jessica? All right. Well, that was fun. News time. Anybody?
Yeah.
We're doing a reverse this week, folks. Anyone have news?
I'll
Yeah.
start.
Is that a no or a yes?
I'll start
I
because
got
mine's really
this.
quick. Actually,
I'll
and
go
it
second.
kind of
We're
can
still
kind of go
second.
along with the original topic that we were talking about. Is
You guys like that? You don't know what chows are? Like the little blue?
Nope.
They're just like the little pets, basically, that they had in the Sonic series.
To enjoy this experience, search Chow Garden Sonic right now while listening
Well,
to this
like 90%
podcast.
of the
You may not enjoy
Oh
it.
yeah, a lot of the people that are
Good
listening
point.
probably already know what we're talking about.
No,
It's so
I don't
popular.
Did you ever get a perfect Chow? Like either Darth or
Did you
Kid?
ever get a perfect chow? I don't know, did you?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Because you get, like, you have their stats. Like each animal gives them a
oh,
certain stat.
no, I didn't.
What was
I
your
had-
news? Get to your news.
Okay,
you guys
sorry.
can do a separate special
Sorry,
on the
sorry,
Chow
sorry.
Garden one
the
time.
new Chow Garden.
I actually wanted to
coming out.
add this originally on my list was Destiny when it first came out. That was one of the most anticipated games I've ever played.
Yeah, that dropped quickly
Yeah.
for me too.
After I'd say like a month or so playing it, like the same thing over and over again, I really fell off of it.
Yeah.
But the new DLC that came out, The Taken King, I've fallen back in love with the series. Like
Yeah.
that game, I was so done with it. I sold it. I ended up buying it again because I had friends that wanted to play with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the DLC is so amazing. They changed the leveling system. You know, originally you max at 20 and then it's just light.
Yeah.
Now you're always getting light and the max is 37. But if you get the DLC, it's or it might be 36 and the max. If you buy the DLC, it's 40. But now you'll be getting light. Even at like level 2, like you'll just start getting it and it'll apply to your stats. So you'll get like better cooldowns and stuff, and they just like better random spawns, a lot better like public events that go on. They have the arena modes that they introduce, and I gave up on the game before the expansions even came out. And that came out with one of the expansions, the arena mode, and I actually been playing that. It's actually a lot of fun. They have a lot of cool artifacts that came out, a lot of just cool things that they added to the game, and I actually really like the game. Now,
Yeah.
I've definitely fallen back in love with it. If I had never played the DLC, I definitely would put that on my list for the games I've just totally dropped because it's obviously a lot of people felt that way, but it's definitely picking up again. I feel, especially with the new DLC.
That's what I hear. A lot of people are pretty excited about it. I want to try it, but I just don't have time. Maybe
Yeah,
another time,
it's
but-
really time consuming.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I'm like, I'll just leave it there. But I hear good things.
It's an MMO. Sorry, it's an MMO, and that's what MMOs are. They just take your time. Like
Yeah.
it's like World of Warcraft. Like you're not gonna only spend like 10 minutes on that game.
Yeah, but
But,
one thing that kind of sucks about it though is like there's a lot of quests where you have to have like 4 or 6 people or whatever. It's like I don't
Yeah.
have that many people that have Destiny and an Xbox One, so
Yeah, like for me, like I love just playing with my fire squad because of the 3 people that you play with, and those are the people that I play with mostly. Is those 2 people, and then and we're just we're always on together, so it's like that makes it enjoyable. I feel if you're playing by yourself, it'd be a lot different because you gotta a lot of it is you gotta rely on other people. But yeah.
yeah, I was told not to buy it, so I never bought it.
But that was my news. The new DLC is actually really, really awesome.
Okay.
If you're a fan of the series, obviously you gotta have time to spend on that game. But I really like it.
I have been hearing that it's just getting better and better. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well, they're planning on releasing a copy with all DLC included eventually.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it, just wait for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we going this way, or are you going next, Dylan?
Yeah, I'll talk about my stuff. It's quick. New Smash DLC that came out September 30th. Why are you looking at me with that face?
Nothing. What we talked about earlier.
What came out on the new DLC?
Okay, well, we won't talk about what Travis is thinking about.
No.
There's a couple new stages. Do you guys know our pirate ship from Brawl, the Toon Link stage? That's actually back for the Wii U.
I'm excited.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the Duck Hunt stage is going to 3DS now, so that's cool because that's a good stage. And it actually brings up that they might actually put other stages from the 3DS to Wii U and then vice versa. I think they should. There's a lot of really good stages, like Corneria, for example.
Mhm.
It's been in Smash forever, and then they just don't have it on the Wii U version. It's really
Favorite
weird.
stage of all time. It's
Yeah.
right there.
So I hope they do more of this where they transfer stages from the different consoles. So that's pretty much it for that. Oh, there's some more costumes too. No one cares about that.
no.
I like
sorry,
the
but-
I like the Mii's, and I think the costumes are cool. But no one else really does.
No.
So I'll just cry in my corner. I finally watched Heroes. I don't know.
The new one?
Heroes
Yeah.
Reborn.
I only watched the second episode's there. I've only seen the first one. I don't know, Jessica.
You're not digging it?
That's why I was
depends.
surprised when you said you liked it. Everybody that else I've talked to is the same way.
It's like because Heroes has always been about following a bunch of different people, and sometimes they don't relate for ever really. And I don't know. I like Zachary Levi. He's the guy who plays the killer, the one killer.
Yeah.
I love that guy because he's from Chuck, and he's one of my favorite dudes ever. So I like his storyline just because I like him. But overall, just.
I don't know. I watched the second episode. It's kind of making things a little. I don't know. Apparently, it's got bad reviews. It's kind of dragging you more in. Like as far as Noah Bennett, you kind of.
He's good. Yeah.
More stuff kind of happens around him. More stuff.
Well, he was in the original one.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. You should watch the second one before you write it
Oh,
off.
I'm definitely gonna watch the whole season, but it didn't really have a strong start for me. Is what I'm getting at.
I liked it, and I watched, like I said, I watched the other one last night when it came out, and I think that the second episode is better. It drags you more in, and it kind of starts to get things rolling.
Well, that's the thing, right? When you split up storylines, like that's what happens.
It's hard
they
'cause
progress slower. But...
Yeah, like you have like 5 storylines, and you jump. Yeah. You get 10 minutes on each story for an episode, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Watch the second one. We'll talk about it next cast and see. Anyone else?
I've never even seen the original series, so I'm not going to start now.
I don't know if you would need to.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to.
I'm
just waiting for.
I feel like I would want to.
Yeah.
If I would recommend just watching the first season. You don't really need to watch other stuff. First season is really good though.
Yeah.
Is
I like
it
Zachary.
long?
But,
Is it long?
It's 6 seasons?
Yeah.
The first season's actually really long, I think. Isn't it like 20 episodes?
Yeah, it's fairly.
And then the second one is like 7 episodes. Third one's like 15, and the last one, it's like really weird. And it's not coherent at all. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I binge watched Heroes originally. I got through it in like 2 or 3 days. So, I mean, if
Always the best.
you can sit down and watch them. Are they on Netflix?
Yeah. Well, they were.
I don't know if they're still
Yeah,
on.
they are.
I think
I saw
I think they removed them, but I think they put them back on
'Cause
probably to
Heroes,
build hype for
yeah.
I like
Reborn.
marketing.
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I like it, but I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm gonna keep watching it because Hiro Nakamura. He's
Yeah, they
in it at some point, right?
they made reference to him in the second
And then
episode.
the other guy, the telepath or whatever.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Professor
again?
X.
Yeah, Professor
Yeah,
X.
Professor X,
So,
he's the
Big
one.
crossover.
so yeah, I'm gonna watch the whole season, but so I'm just I'm a
Not
little bit
sure.
worried.
Not digging it so far.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens with
That's
it.
really all I got. I'm gonna cut my other stuff. It's not really important. So.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Taylor.
Taylor's on paper this week, so he
I
can't
know.
do
And
It's on
that's
his
why I'm
arm.
doing
I'm
it
not
for
on
him.
paper.
It's on his
What?
arm.
I have my notes on
that.
paper.
Oh, God.
It's on his arm.
So,
Tattooed. New additions.
stuff that's starting here this week, Walking Dead, starting back up again. I know we talked about how no one here cares about it, but
I feel like it's a chore when you say, like, right, I gotta watch that. And is this Sunday?
yeah, it starts up
Fuck.
this week.
I'm not ready.
No,
This
no,
week's
it's not
the
this
finale
Sunday.
of
No, it's not
Fear.
this Sunday. It's next.
I thought you were Walking Dead. I'm like, what the?
No,
One
that-
episode season.
No.
Fear only had, like, 6 episodes?
Yeah.
The original Walking
Yeah,
Dead had only like 6.
Big
for the first.
difference, though.
it's in my notes here that I'm really disappointed that they're already at season finale for Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Walking Dead starts. Not that any of you guys are gonna watch it, but
I will eventually.
no, my next one.
I
Let me
will
finish
in,
my
like,
statement.
2 years.
And not that any of you are gonna watch it, but Vampire Diaries and
Oh.
Originals. There you go. If you let me finish,
Sorry.
And the what?
the Originals, which is the spin-off from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh,
I said that on the
damn.
episode you guys were talking about the Originals, and you guys just didn't
Okay.
care.
Okay.
Not what I thought. I thought I was
You- I was just listening to that episode again. Travis was going bananas. It's impossible for
I'm
anything
gonna
to
write
get
that
done.
movie when I get a job at Disney. I'm telling you, one day they're gonna see my film
No, the
next
point
year
is
at the
it's supposed
festival.
to be
That's a horror
not
movie.
Disney. I don't know.
I'll figure it out. We'll talk to John Lasseter.
So yeah, those are all starting here, coming up. And then Once Upon a Time started, as I would mention last week. And if any of you are looking to start it, this season is going to be, like, amazing. The first episode was super good.
And you better start because that's probably gone too soon. They're
Yeah.
thinking about getting rid of that in Castle, which I love Castle.
Well,
but
they
then-
just added the newest, or season 4 of Once Upon a Time on Netflix. All the seasons are on there now.
Yeah.
So, super awesome. If you like, Disney characters and fairy tales and whatnot, it's super amazing.
I'm gonna binge watch that one. I'm gonna wait till it's over and then just watch it all because I don't want to start and have another show. So I'm gonna wait till it's done because I love Disney and I really want to.
yeah.
Because I didn't watch it when it first came out because I was like, I don't think this is gonna be good. But no.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do a really good job of tying things together and good character development and, like, really caring about the relationships that you see characters make.
Yeah.
I absolutely, I love it. And, like, they fake killed off a character and, like, it broke my heart. I was like, no, like, you can't do this.
No.
I will, like, stop watching this show I definitely, if you're thinking about checking it out, I advise you to check it out.
I've always seen it, but I never heard anything about it. I'd probably check it out now.
Yeah, it's
Sounds cool.
yeah, it's about the savior, which is like the daughter of Prince Charming and Snow White.
Oh,
So, and
I'm not a Snow White fan. I like Cinderella more.
she's in it, I'm pretty sure.
I know, but her daughter should be the chosen one, or whatever.
I don't know.
Continue.
Recently, you get to meet like
Cinderella.
Maleficent's daughter and stuff like that. It's been cool. I would
Yeah, see, I like that stuff.
yeah. I'm always a fan of Disney, so.
Yeah.
yeah, that's stuff that has come out recently. And then I wanted Fear the Walking Dead is already coming to a season finale. It's not even mid-season finale like Walking Dead does. It's season finale after 6 episodes. You probably
Don't
started
throw
it?
your point out, but you're gonna.
Well, I've watched all the episodes, so I'm gonna watch the finale. Of course,
Do you think
but-
that it should be cut already?
No, and since it is being cut, I at least would have expected the episodes to be as long as the original Walking Dead was, because the original Walking Dead, the episodes were like an hour and a half or something. Like they were a
Just
lot
an hour.
longer.
No,
Really?
yeah,
Not an
same-
hour and a
same
half.
length.
I thought they were long.
No, they're just an hour. They were an hour and a
commercials?
half.
I
Hour.
think, I think Taylor's right. I think they were long.
You don't even know.
Yes, I do.
No, it was
I
not.
watched Walking Dead
It was
before
not
anyone
an hour
else
and
did.
a half. Do not test me on
But
this.
there is the web series spinoff coming out that'll be alongside the Fear the Walking Dead, which I'm inclined to watch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother to put in that much effort. I'll set the PVR, but I'm not
Zombies
gonna.
on a plane?
No,
though?
isn't it just a web series?
It's a web series, yeah.
How are you gonna watch it, Taylor? You don't have internet.
I have internet.
He doesn't
Oh,
now.
nice.
Back in business for over a month.
My point when you made the point about like Walking Dead getting the 6 episodes, the reason I feel like you
Just
can't use
McDonald's.
it as an excuse for Fear the Walking Dead, they already know it's a successful franchise. So it's not like, oh, let's see if Fear the Walking Dead works out. Like, you knew it was going to get ratings, so it's like, that's no excuse. I don't know. I won't watch it. But you two only know that I watch it, and you guys don't really, like, rave about it. Nobody I see raves about. It's just kind of there, and I'm not going to watch a show that's just kind of there. Like, I want a reason
Yeah.
to, like, get into it, and no one's really
I
giving me
don't
one.
know that I'll even stick around for the second season.
Yeah.
It's
Slow.
yeah, and I mean at least
No good characters,
and
you
there's
said last
no
time.
like The Walking Dead. At least there's zombies. It's a zombie show, and I mean I get that it's the beginning of the apocalypse, but there's for the last like 2 episodes you've been seeing them in their compound and they're safe, and it's just. What should we do? We're stuck in a compound, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know. We're stuck here, so we can't do anything." And that's it.
Because this is the thing I think, with like even that first scene in the beginning of the series with Rick and Shane and they're joking around before he gets shot, I feel like all the characters in The Walking Dead, even though if there was no zombie apocalypse, like Michonne and Daryl and when Shane was around, like I'd be interested to see what their lives were like and watch a show with them because I like those characters. But with Fear the Walking Dead, it doesn't really sound like those characters because you're getting a show without zombies, right? So it's like you have to like these characters and. No one really likes characters. To me, those characters should be even better and likable than Walking Dead.
And yeah, that's exactly it with The Walking Dead. Like, when they're just sitting at the farm talking, I want to find out about these characters.
Yeah.
But I have no attachment to these characters, so the fact that nothing's happening, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
I like the military aspect, like in the military came like halfway through the season, but that's what I kind of like because you think like, oh, the military's here, that's kind of good. Do you trust them? Like, I don't know, but like there's I don't know how to explain it very well. Just like for me, like seeing how the military is handling this, like. The people are just so like, oh, let's just trust them, and even like at first you have reason to trust them,
Well,
but then
you should.
things start to turn
It's your
around.
government.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should
it's
trust
They're
them.
not going to screw you over.
Yeah, never.
But things start to turn around, and I mean, this is a spoiler alert. At one point in the last episode, they're transporting one guy out of the town to this facility, but they pull over to help another squad. And just out of I think it was 5 something like soldiers, they went into this building. But then only 2 come out. They throw a grenade and they get in the car. And the guy's like, "What's going on?" And the one guy's like, "I got a new mission. Get my ass to San Diego or whatever." And he grabs a picture of like his family or something like that. And they
Good
just
delivery.
they
Yeah.
speed away. I can't remember if it was San Diego. Could have been anything. But.
That
Yeah.
didn't sound good at all, though, man.
No, but it's just it's at this point where like the military is getting out of, like, it's getting too much for the military to handle, and I like seeing that, like, how the military, and I find it to be not far-fetched from how the military would really handle this in a real situation. Well, I mean...
With zombies?
Yeah, like with zombies or something, because the military...
When in a real situation, it's not like it's like a ride or something. But, like, with zombies, we haven't had experience with zombies.
No, but I mean, the military is going to come in, and if the government has shut down, the military is going to think, oh, we got guns, we'll handle these people.
They've had, like, 10 military to 5 people, and in a real life situation it's going to be like they'll station 1 unit of 5 people for a community, not they've got the town overrun with military. You see like 10 people that live in this community and like 50 military. That's not realistic.
Yeah, that's not, but I mean, like, the way the military is going to act, like, that's like a whole army. You see them, like, squads of like 20 soldiers kind of like patrolling around, and like vehicles going around and stuff. Like, that's
so if you
want
to see a show that shows how the military operate, just doing daily things.
not
the Walking Dead's for you.
Not in the sense where they're like a huge presence of them, but like their actions, I should say.
You think they would just like fence communities in? Because that's what happened.
I could see them fencing communities in.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
It's like The Crazies. Have you ever seen The Crazies?
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It's a good movie, too.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Crossover.
Will Smith.
Of what? All 3 of them?
Crazies and Fear the Walking Dead and
I Am Legend. I'd watch Fear the Walking Dead if Will Smith was in there. Come on, time to save Earth. So, is that it for you?
No.
Okay. I just want to get away from Fear the Walking Dead and military breakdown.
On the note of Nintendo, Mario Maker has sold 1 million copies. They're estimating 1 in 10 Wii U owners have Mario Maker, so kind of turning it around a little bit for them as far as sales go.
For the end of their lifespan console.
Well, we've talked about what they could do to like bring themselves back, and obviously
that's
that
really
game was
good.
it. So
I thought it would sell, and now it's a good game to sell, and buy it. The same thing, like, I don't know, I can't say anything, like, there's nothing more to say, like, than just buy it, like, you have to, like...
Yeah, the more and more I've been playing it, it's awesome.
yeah, I like at the end of every night I'll like lie in bed and like go on my gamepad and like check what's been uploaded for the day, play random things. It's awesome. Also, Arkham Knight's finally being released for the PC. I thought you might like that because I know you were talking about waiting for PC games. It's been like what, a month?
I hope for you PC gamers that it's good because I feel sorry for you because it was awful apparently and just one of the worst ported games ever. So I hope it's good. I won't be playing it. I'm done with Arkham Knight. I that's another rant for another day. But yeah, good for you guys. Like, have fun. It's a great game, amazing story. So yeah.
I just thought I'd bring it up just because I know you were
I saw that today.
About.
Yeah.
Also, for anyone looking to buy an Xbox One, they've announced.
Selling one.
You're
no, like yours. That's what you're announcing right
selling
now.
my Xbox One. Hit me up. They've announced a 1 terabyte bundle with Fallout 4 and Fallout 3. They're only pricing it at $3.99, so comparable to.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah.
Does it come with the Pip-Boy?
No.
Come on, man.
I want the Pip-Boy so bad.
You just buy that just for the Pip-Boy?
I would. I want it so bad.
Yeah, because I know
sell the Xbox.
Dylan was talking about buying either a PS4 or an Xbox One.
Not anymore, but yeah, I was thinking about it.
He's just chosen PC.
I don't.
PC Master Race.
It's too expensive. I can't.
It's only $3.99.
No. Oh.
Does that come with the Kinect or without?
That's without.
Okay.
Come on.
I really need the Kinect. So
No, I'm just
Deal
curious.
breaker.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, but for when you consider the price of the game, plus you get Fallout 3, I mean, it's not bad.
I feel
That's
like
a
that's
good
a
deal.
really good deal. Yeah.
They're trying to compete. This is the year they gotta. We'll talk about that maybe next week.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like if I didn't have a next gen system, I would hop on that train. But
yeah.
I
It's
was
too late
I
now.
was one of the originals. Like, oh, new system, I gotta get it. Throw away a lot of money.
But you have PS4? You might. Do you hear SAO? Sword Art Online is getting a game.
Oh, what? Oh yes, I did actually.
Mass online multiplayer?
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
For those of you, I brought it up when
Anime?
we talked about anime. It's basically a game where they go into this virtual reality and they can't log out. If someone like unplugs them, they die. If they die in the game, they die. And it's a big.
So what, you have to hook up a gun to your computer, and if you die in the game, they shoot you.
No, it's hooked into the back of their head, into their brain.
No,
So
I
someone
mean,
can-
in real life, no, the game's actually like
No, I think they're just gonna be playing the characters.
Yeah,
in
you
there,
just-
man.
it's supposed to be a joke. It wasn't funny.
Yeah,
We're going.
not funny. We'll cut that out.
So, yeah, that's been announced that we're getting in North America and whatnot too, so we can play together.
Yeah, that'll be
PS4.
awesome. Because, like, the other anime, like, MMO was Dragon Ball Online, and I actually played that. Even though it was only in Korea, you have to, like, download a special thing, and all of the chat is in, like, Korean, so you don't know what you're doing for your quest or anything, so this should actually be interesting.
I'm excited, especially because it's supposed to be Alfheim Online.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you should, in theory, have all the different classes of fairies, and you can build your own fairy,
Yeah,
just
that's
like in
gonna
the
be
show.
awesome.
So it'll be cool. I'm excited
I'll
for
definitely
it.
check it out when it comes out, and I know a lot of other people will too.
Yeah, so I'll have to add you on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then last thing to say, if you're thinking about checking out The Martian, definitely go see it. It's
I'm so excited.
I
I've seen that tonight. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I saw it early showing, and it's absolutely awesome. It is kind of slower. I mean, obviously, it's a guy stuck on Mars, but it's worth watching. It's really interesting. It does keep you captivated, and like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I know people here are gonna see it, so we'll talk about it at a later date. But definitely check it out.
When did it come out?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
The
looking
first.
forward to it ever since we first saw the announcement at Jurassic World when we went.
Oh, okay.
That was like the first time I heard.
I'm like, there's a Jurassic World park. Or
no,
something?
we went to the Jurassic.
I
World,
remember
yeah.
now. I remember.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see here. Has anybody seen? You haven't read it, but has anyone seen Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Half
No.
of it.
Yeah. First half.
So dislike, I'm guessing, too slow.
I didn't
Too
like
slow.
It.
I think I fell asleep and just never turned it back on.
Well,
Same,
once again on
I
the
think.
theme of me liking slow things, I love it, but I love the graphic novel a lot more. Graphic novel's amazing. Anyways, I guess HBO, and they've confirmed that they're in talks. They're looking to replace Game of Thrones, so they're talking with Zack Snyder actually to maybe get a series going for Watchmen, and I am beyond stoked. Like, the movie was really good, but there's so much more ground they could cover with the graphic novel. Like, the graphic novel's on New York Times bestseller, like, greatest 100 books ever. Not like comic books, like just books, and they put it on there. Like, it's so good. It is one of the greatest, most sophisticated things I've ever read. And the movie was really good, but there's only so much you can do, even though there is like a 5-hour version, which I own, and it's great. It's like, there's so many times I'll just sit and watch. Like, there's so much stuff. But yeah, if that happens, I'm really excited. Would you guys check that out if it was a TV show, or because the movie kind of like...
Well, like, when I watched it, I was just... I had no idea what was going on, first of all. And then,
Yeah.
And then it was pretty slow, and then it got to the point where I was like, I don't know what's going on, because I think I was just dozing off or something. And,
Yeah.
But, like, I'd maybe give it
Yeah,
another
I feel
chance.
like it's one of those shows where you find yourself checking Facebook instead of paying attention, and then you get farther lost, so then you check Facebook again, and it just kind of slowly goes downhill.
Well, that's why I feel like a TV series is better, because originally HBO talked about this like a decade ago, and it fell through, and then the movie happened, and I feel like, especially if you read the novel, you know...
The movie was pretty well received in general, wasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty good. A lot of people did say it was too slow or whatnot, but that's because all the previews made it look like explosion and this and that. Like, it's not about that. It's very about... And what kind of sucks is, it's kind of the Incredibles before Incredibles. That came out, but what Incredibles is, like, that's what The Watchmen was when it came out as a comic book. Like, that first, like, superheroes in the real world, like, realistic views and whatnot. Things about church and state and religion, like, real views. Like, what happens if superheroes were actually here? So that's why I think another thing that hurt it, that The Incredibles was already out, and people had seen, like, oh, we've seen a version of this before. But I think a TV series would be great. Like, I feel like you'd get to spend time with the characters, and the stuff that you didn't know, like you were saying, Kirkland, or things that are explained, I feel like in a TV show,
Yeah.
they have lots of time
Definitely.
to... So.
Would there be a lot more characters?
Oh yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
backstories and so many characters. Like, when they do those flashback to the old characters,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff in the movies that's not there, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has a chance to kind of do better in the fact that it's like, 45 minutes, you can sit through that and then kind of think it over and mull it over, and then by the time the next one comes, you're like, you kind of have put it out. If you thought it was slow or whatever, like The Walking Dead, right? If you think all of a sudden an episode's slow, by the time the next episode comes, you've forgotten that you thought it was slow and you watch it anyway.
Yeah.
You kind of, 45 minutes is not as painful to sit through a 5-hour
Yeah.
version.
It's not painful at all. No, but I love, right now, especially in the past 5 years, I think TV is way better than movies,
Yeah,
because
I
I
was gonna
love
say that.
getting the story, which you guys are going to watch when it gets closer, but I hope you'd agree, and that's why I love Daredevil. I feel like
Yeah, well-
that's the best thing. Even sorry, I love Guardians and Avengers, but for me, if I had to take one thing from Marvel, that was it, because it's like a 13-hour movie. Like it feels like a mini series. Like it doesn't feel like a TV show, but you have really time to like not like an hour and a half to here's Matt Murdock, he's a lawyer, and that's it. Like you get 13 episodes, 13 hours to really get to know all the characters and everything.
You
and
like the characters in Daredevil too. Like,
Yeah.
they developed them in a really
even the villain is great. Like you can see his like views, so that's why I'm excited. I love TV shows because you get to really get into characters. So. And yeah, so what was the? Oh, this is the next thing I was going to talk about. You and I saw Black Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed it. What do you think?
it
Want to
was
give it a little
amazing.
overall and a score as we do here?
I haven't thought about that. I don't know, 8.5, 9, something.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm in the 8.5 category too. Like I said, I always got to see a movie twice, but yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was really. I can't remember the last time I seen a movie with that much tension in a while. Like if people have seen it, there's a couple scenes. The scene where he checks a certain girl for being sick and. Oh, that scene with the stepdaughter was brutal. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in my life. It was, I was sitting there like, that's brutal, but
It was amazing, yeah.
yeah, it was great.
Very dark, obviously, but
Yeah.
perfect.
Where would you put it as far as Depp performances?
Mm,
Like, obviously one of his better ones, but like in the top, or like, because for me, I know it's really early to say, but it might be my favorite one.
I don't know. I don't really know.
Like,
I'm not as much of a movie buff as you are to be able to do things
True.
like that.
but like, you got Edward
it was
Scissorhands, you got Jack Sparrow,
Yeah, I don't know. It was
Blow.
you got
good.
Willy Wonka. Blow was really good, but it was
So-
better than that.
I think just overall, like everyone did a really good job
Mhm.
with their characters.
Our man here on GeekVerse, Joel Edgerton,
Yeah.
killed it. He
He
was
did.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and you know what's cool? Like I didn't really pick up that it was him, like the guy from The Gift at first.
Yeah.
So even though these are the only two things I've seen him in, like he's good.
He's really good.
He's a really good actor.
He might be, sorry for people that don't know me, but I have a list of man crushes. I think he's getting added. I
good.
want to watch anything he's in.
Yeah.
He's an amazing director, but yeah, overall that movie was really good. And this was the quick thing I was going to say, because I was saying about how good his performance was. The rumor is he's going to get an Oscar nomination. The two big guys are Depp and Leo. Who do you guys think, like...
sorry, really off topic. Leo's coming out with a new movie with Tom Hardy.
That's really good.
yeah.
Inherent, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm
What is
so
it?
excited.
It's like, it's a old movie. It's back in like the, like I can't remember what date, but pretty much it's just it's gonna have like no dialogue pretty much whatsoever. I think Tom
Basically,
Hardy and
yeah.
Leo are at each other hunting one another.
They're like traveling, and then Leo like breaks his leg, and they suggest to leave him. And Leo's son's like, no, we can't. So they carry him along, and then Hardy tries to kill Leo, and his son's like, oh no, you can't. And so then Tom Hardy kills the son, and then buries Leo alive. And that's all about Leo's like quest to like get revenge.
Yeah,
It looks really good.
and I can't remember his last name, but it's directed by Alejandro something. He's the same guy that did Birdman,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be big time.
Is it going to
quality.
be that same style? you
No,
think?
not at all. It's gonna be completely
looks,
different.
It looks amazing. There was a commercial for it in The Martian, and I was like sitting there like, I need to see this.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking about the other day, because those two are always hailed as like the two greatest actors who ever won an Oscar. Who do you think deserves one more? Like just for any performance, like between Depp and Leo. Like
Between Depp and
who do
Leo?
you think's better? Because they're always like, oh, these two are so great, but they've never won an Oscar. Like it's always like kind of the joke, like they always lose or
They
win.
they play different roles, but I'd probably
For sure.
say Depp.
Yeah,
I'd say if you took it as like a career thing, I would say Depp.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd say Leo. Just cause.
Have you never
Just 'cause-
watched Johnny Depp act in
Yeah.
like his movies?
But Leo's amazing too.
Leo is
Yeah,
amazing,
Leo's amazing.
but like
Think
Leo
about-
does like the same thing. Like it's
Gotta watch Django Unchained.
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
that was.
That's
so,
not the same.
You know,
performance
actually, I'm
then.
going to say Leo. I'm switching to Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because of Django?
No, I haven't even seen
I thought he
Django.
should have won an Oscar for that. I was so mad that Christoph won. I was so mad. Anyways,
When he like cut his hand on the glass and like kept acting.
yeah, it was all, and it was just.
That was unscripted.
It was his first time he was playing like a real villain too, so that was different.
Yeah, just I don't know.
Catch Me If You Can was a bit different.
I don't know if I've seen Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, him and Tom Hanks really good.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Johnny Depp.
Any reason?
I just like his movies. It's Leo's up there. I like his performance, especially in Django Unchained. I love that movie a lot. But I like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's just I don't know. You guys say he has more variety, like Leo has variety, but like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is so different from like Pirates of the Caribbean compared to like Blow. Like I just find that Johnny Depp's just got this huge range.
Yeah, but
of-
the thing with a lot of his characters is they're all just kind of like weird characters.
They're very
That makes
similar.
sense.
And
They're
the
similar in the
movies are
sense
not
that they're
good.
just like these kind of weird, unrealistic characters.
I think that's the thing, that Leo's movies are a bit better. I would still pick Depp overall. I feel like he's a better actor, and I feel like he should have won an Oscar by now, and I don't think he'll win it this year, because apparently Michael Fassbender's killing it as Steve Jobs, so I have no problems with that. But
Did you see that movie?
it's not out yet.
Oh,
It
it
doesn't come to Kelowna until the 26th. It's out everywhere else, like the 16th.
That's weird.
So we'll for sure see that. But I would think Depp, but I think the reason Depp doesn't get as much because I feel like Leo, even though if he plays the same roles, he's in much better movies, like critically acclaimed. Like think of like Wolf of Wall Street last year. I loved it, and it's still the same role, but it's like a movie that's so good where like he's doing Willy Wonka and doing something different, but people think like, oh, it sucks, so they kind of like write it off. And same thing like what was Alice in Wonderland one? Oh, it's just Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But like same thing, he did a good performance, but the movie overall I didn't really like. So I feel like that's what happens with Depp. He's always like a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
And that's why I want him to work with like Christopher Nolan or something and like just really like tear it loose. But I feel like Black Mask, he did that. It was really back to like Blow. It was back to like those good performances where like the whole movie was good and he was like the star of it. He's really, you gotta see it. He's just really creepy and like one of his best. For me, it's his best performance because you kind of forget it's him after a while. Like yeah. And I really loved the story of Whitey Bulger, so he did really well. So. Yeah, that's it. You go. I got nothing else
I'm
too
going to
big.
throw out something else on movies that I totally forgot about. Now, if you guys heard about, what is it, The Walk with Joseph Gordon-Levitt that's coming out?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently it's causing people to throw up.
Good.
Yeah,
It
like
should,
that's how I
though.
felt. That's how I felt watching the trailer. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not watching this movie because I have such a fear of heights that I just couldn't.
Yeah,
do it.
they did a pre-screening of it, I believe, in New York, and there was people running out of the theater throwing up because of the vertigo from it.
Was it
You're
The
not the
Hobbit?
only one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Like
no.
live footage
Too much
of
bruschetta.
I'm not surprised, but I just won't get around to seeing it now because you don't want to, like, Kirkland says you don't want to see it because of the height. I just don't really care about that story. Like, it's cool, but it's not for me. It's not something like, it's like when I say with Whitey, I am big in, like, mafia and crime. It's like, I want to see that. But the tightrope guy, I'm kind of like, I might see it eventually. I love Jogo, but other than that.
I want to see it just because I've heard all these reviews about the vertigo and this and that, and
But we don't have an IMAX theater. That's what sucks.
Okay, apparently the theater that I went to for The Martian is a IMAX theater
Mm,
because
so-
I had to pay like $20 a ticket.
I know.
The-
You know what IMAX
What
theater
theater did you go to?
Extreme West Kelowna.
Oh.
It's a bigger screen, but it's nowhere IMAX. IMAX
They
is,
got like couch seats there though.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
Anyways, Taylor, some of your most important news.
Okay, let me just get this out.
IMAX theater in Science World.
How much time we
Oh,
got
yeah.
there? 15
I
minutes?
went there in grade 6.
15
How long did
minutes.
It's like you just like literally just sit there.
Remember.
I saw
Not
a
much.
turtle one, and it was amazing.
How much is it?
Well, that's one I saw actually was like
They're
on the
146
planets.
Oh,
So it was like
That'd be awesome.
it was
I gotta
literally
watch
like
this.
looking
Stick
at the
your
No, you
sky.
don't.
It
Just
was
talk.
so
Just
awesome.
keep talking.
Okay, well,
Talk about the most important things first.
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
most
he has a
important thing-
paper. I didn't even have to do my paper.
You already
shaking
said that.
noises. I wasn't listening. Sorry.
Poor
So,
Taylor.
Wasn't
they
real,
released
What do we got, Taylor?
a new live-action Halo 5 trailer.
We talked about this last week.
No, that was different. That was a cutscene. This is an actual live-action trailer they released.
Okay.
And basically, it's all these people on the different planets and stuff, and basically, it's this high-ranking official saying the Master Chief is dead to all of these people, and we will remember him as a hero and everything. And the thing that stands out to me is that she says, "We're not, because of the event and like the stress it could have on the people. We're not going to outline the cause of his death or what happened." And immediately,
fishy.
it is, and immediately you know that he's, and even in Halo 2, there's a cutscene where it was Spartan Locke and the Arbiter, and Spartan Locke's talking to him and says, the Master Chief has gone rogue, we gotta go bring him back. So obviously you know that if such a huge heroic icon has gone rogue, a military government is not gonna want to reveal some kind of information on that, because that'd be pretty hard for people, because they'd question it. Why has he gone rogue? Is there something we should be concerned about? So obviously we're just gonna say he's dead. You look like you want to say something.
Where are you going with this? This is what I'm...
Well, it's just a huge cover up. Like, and if you know, like the story with Halsey and all that stuff, there's a huge, she's the one who created the Spartan 2s and all that.
Of course.
There's stuff behind all that and everything. But
So it was a good trailer.
it was good. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff.
Next week, me and Dylan...
Check it out, people.
Next week, me and Dylan are going to talk about Black Mass the whole way through. First, he drove up to South Paul, and then he met with.
I don't get it.
You're like, instead of saying, "Hey, do you want to see that trailer? It was really good," you're literally describing the whole trailer.
Yeah, gosh, I have to. I gotta point out the facts.
They can check it out.
Yeah.
Well,
It's on the internet.
We don't gotta give the full, like, you gotta give your opinions and, like, the cool things. We don't gotta give a full play-by-play.
Well, go on the internet then. Look up the live-action trailer. Halo 5.
Go to
Or
Message
you
Taylor.
can just go on their Facebook or on the Xbox Facebook.
www.facebook.com.
Yeah, accessible through the internet.
In the search engine.
343 has
Google
begun working on Halo 6, which I think is pretty cool.
Really?
Well, maybe they can get this one right.
Hopefully. They said that it was
Couch co-op, that's all I need.
kind of
Yeah.
like a luxury that they've been able to start this early, because...
Because they didn't put the time
It's
into
a
Halo
lot.
5. If
There you go.
you guys have time to work on Halo 6, go back to Halo 5 and fix it.
You better move away from Halo right
Yeah.
Never
yeah.
Jessica just gets more and more enraged.
Yeah, well, Matt told me he's going to buy it, so now I can't even
It's too late.
boycott it.
Well, Scream Queens. This is what I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk
Are
about...
you giving us a play-by-play for this?
No, I'm not, but... First thing I want to talk about is just this new character called Coney in it. Do you remember Coney?
Yeah.
And
2012?
it's this guy, and he's like talking to himself, and the serial killer wears their mascot at the university, right? But so they changed the mascot to an ice cream cone, and the guy who gets to be the mascot is like some nerd or whatever. Like he's like, as it shows him, he's like talking to himself like, I could never get away with this in my old life, and he spanks this girl's like butt, and the girl turns around angry, but sees it's the mascot and is like smiling.
And when
like,
you have him
laughing.
described as a mascot, he's a giant ice cream cone.
Yeah.
So,
But he's explaining how he can do everything, and then he turns around and he gets chainsawed in half and
by the
dies.
killer, and like in the head, and it's like one of the greatest things ever. And they have this like really really shitty fight scene, and it's awesome.
He couldn't get up. This ice cream cone was stuck on the floor, and he was just rolling, and he couldn't stand up.
I'm sorry if anyone has watched Screen Queens, but it's probably gonna be a weekly thing, like a little play-by-play. But yeah, really good episode.
Yeah.
And then they had the Dickie Scholar or the Dickie Dollar Scholars. They had this idea of like they're like the sorority of guys, and their idea to get the devil because he's dressed as a devil. They took baseball bats and they're just gonna hit everything that was red. So they're hitting like fire engines and like cars just to like bring out the devil.
Did you guys make this show sound better than it is?
It's so good. And then they're beating this. They're beating everything that's red on the streets, and they see him. And then what starts playing is Backstreet Boys. I can't remember the name of the song.
Backstreet's back. All right.
I can't remember the actual song, but the name of the song. But that's playing, and they have like there's two killers, and they start having like chainsaw like baseball bat fights. And every time like one jock steps up, hits his chainsaw, it doesn't work. The next jock steps up, like they all try, and it just keeps. They keep trying to hit the killer, and he just counters every. It's the exact same thing. It's just
Chad went down. The guy comes
Chad
in.
Ripoff!
The guy jumps in, and a spoiler alert, his arm gets cut off, and he's like, oh my god! And then his other arm gets cut off, and he's like,
And then doesn't the killer take his arm that's
That's
holding the
been done
baseball bat and
before.
stab
Anchorman.
him though?
something like
Yeah, but then what happens is the
Monty
guy that
Python.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
the
of.
guy that got his arm chopped off, he was holding a baseball bat, so then the killer takes the arm and then like shoves it into the guy. And really good.
Sounds amazing.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Award worthy.
that was one thing on here I was going to mention. And then just Chad being offended by the controlling. Like, can you make me stop sleeping with so many women? You're so controlling!
That's really good.
I just found that funny. And then when Chanel caught that, the girl with the brace, she went into her closet. And this closet is like I can't remember what she said, it's like an extension of myself. It's like a part of me.
No, I remember. I'm not gonna
excuse my
drop
language. Shit. This is my second badge. This is so, like, everything to me. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely some good dialogue.
I'm feeling like Dylan right now.
Anyways, what's next?
Well,
We can
there's-
only talk about so
okay,
much.
this is how you guys are feeling right now is how like everything was when I talked about anime and you weren't here, Kirkland. That blank
That's
look.
depressing.
No,
Hey, I
it's
did a good job
unimaginable.
asking questions.
Me too.
You nodded along.
Trying to
Ask for the
be
titles.
nice and stuff.
What's next?
well, there's water on Mars, so that's good.
Awesome.
Everyone
Go
knows
check it
that.
out.
Go check it out.
Bethesda. I like how they're not
yes.
favoring one console over another with its DLC for Fallout. I think
That's pretty awesome.
I think that's pretty nice.
They did a Fallout 3, so that's good that they're not doing it again. Just saying, that's cool. They didn't repeat their mistakes.
Yeah, they learn from their mistakes. They
Yeah.
make good games.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bethesda.
I'm really tempted to get into Lego Dimensions too because I keep hearing good things about
We
it.
were talking about everyone getting it, and it's like, eh.
No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm too busy with Infinity. I can't believe you haven't got Infinity. The Star Wars characters.
I plan to. I'm going to.
You can't get that end dimensions, man. You're going bankrupt. I'm telling you.
I'm already going
You're
bankrupt.
gonna lose your internet,
good.
I'm
Taylor.
dropping $300 at the end of October on Halo and Assassin's Creed, so that alone is going to set me
I'm
down.
gonna
That
drop
doesn't
at least
add up.
that in
Yeah,
the
it
Pokemon
does.
Mega Center.
At least.
Amiibo. I'm poor.
Then 2 new actors joining Assassin's Creed: Jeremy Irons and Brendan Gleeson. So I think that's good because
I
they're
don't
2
know,
good
I-
actors.
Jeremy Irons quality. He's Scar. He's gonna be the new Alfred. He's one of the greatest British actors of all time. He's really good. Oscar winner. He'll bring it.
Cool beans.
He's gonna be a good Alfred too.
Yeah, so they're both joining the cast. I've yet to find out who or what they will be playing.
Thug
What
number
they're
1.
Hmm?
Thug number 1 and Thug number 2. Over there. Be
Maybe.
prepared.
Probably. Yeah, I can see that.
No, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna get an Oscar winner to play Thug number 1.
Yeah, so I'll be digging around. and
What'd you
see-
say?
I'll be digging around to see who they're playing as.
Jesus.
And yeah,
I heard
that's
something completely different.
that's all I got.
Yeah, he just dramatically threw his paper. So
Better pick that
I'm
up.
out. I'm done.
See ya. Bye, Taylor.
Bye.
okay. Well, anyways, that's it. Anyone else? Anything to add? Yeah.
I was actually gonna talk about Lego Dimensions, but Taylor kind of just moved on. They've actually, have you guys looked at all the different things they've got up for it yet?
Yeah.
Like they have like Portal 2, and there's like Scooby Doo, and there's like a whole bunch of different sets that are out already.
We told you about this, and the Wizard of Oz and Doctor Who. Remember, we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we talked about them, but I actually went in and like saw
Oh.
them out and like
You did some
physically
digging?
held them.
This
It wasn't
big-
just like, rumors or, DLC that's coming out in 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. $109 is a little steep for
Yeah.
me,
That's the
but
problem, is the money.
Yeah. That's just for the game.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what.
That's gross.
That's why I'm like, no. At
Yeah.
least Infinity's only $15 more than like $60.
Yeah, $109 is disgusting.
Yeah.
And then to buy the sets too, right?
Which are usually 15 to 34.
Is it that? I didn't see any prices.
Single
on that.
character is 15, and then a together set is 35.
Yeah, see, that's gross.
A lot of Lego sets are around that much though. Like when you look at like Lego Star Wars sets, they range from like $100 or so. So to
Yeah,
pay
but
for that much for a
but
game
that
which has more
comes with
content.
like. But if you're buying Lego for that sense, you're buying it to sit down and, make the Death Star. You're not, buying it for a video game.
Yeah.
So,
Think about, like, for that price, you could buy, like, two other games if you want.
yeah, so. I mean, I'm comparing it to likewise games, which would be Infinity and Skylanders, which are $69, not $109.
Yeah. The toys are about the same, 15 and 35, but yeah, that game is... And like with playset, like my last Infinity was $75. I got 3 characters, same as Lego. So, yeah.
A little bit high for my liking.
The
Yeah.
Toys to Life thing is cool, but it's really expensive.
Yeah,
It's not a good hobby.
It's not a good hobby to have.
it's an expensive hobby to have, that's for sure.
Yes. Well, that's it. Another one in the
Anything
11?
else to add, Taylor?
Yeah.
Hang on. Are
Wow.
you going to the Facebook page, or are you set off?
I remember this time.
Yeah.
Well, before then,
You
we got...
almost did. Yeah.
Before then, in the next couple weeks, we don't know when, we're going to be doing some Star Wars reviews. We're very excited for that. I hope. no
I'm
response.
so pumped.
They look at me like I haven't even talked to them about this.
I haven't seen them in a good minute, actually, so...
I'm excited
It's
for
been a
that.
solid
like,
minute,
actually,
for sure.
a long time. Like, probably 7 or 8 years.
So it'll be the next couple months here, and then soon, I think, we've talked about maybe next week doing the Xbox versus PlayStation debate or
I wasn't here
roundtable.
for this. What? When was
Well,
this
I actually
called?
don't remember us ever talking about it, but I
We
think
talked
Okay,
about it today,
maybe
but
we
that's
should,
okay.
maybe
Like,
we
other
should
than
sign
today.
out and discuss this.
Where can they find us on Facebook today?
I'm just gonna say,
WWW
I'm gonna write a
Well.
book for that
World
debate.
Wide Web.
Yeah, we are
World Wide Web.
Facebook GeekVerse podcast.
Okay, good. I was waiting for something to happen to get in the way of that.
In the search bar?
Yeah, in the search
In the
engine.
search.
The search engine, yeah, that's what it was.
It was both, I don't know. And then on Twitter, you find us at GeekVerseCast, and then, yeah, we'll be back next week. Everyone have a good one. Woo!
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening.
Woo, what was that? Why'd you have to woo?
Going out with a bang, 11th uncensored.
And yeah, I told you about the PlayStation Sony one.
Yeah, earlier.
Oh, well, Croon's gone.
Earlier
I said
today.
bye.
Earlier today
Wow,
we talked about it.
He just left.
Earlier today
He
we talked
thinks I'm
about
going
it.
to ask him for the $10, that's why.
Okay, so...